Stop dilly-dallying. He's already frustrated. There's nobody in Jacksonville that's frustrated. Everybody's smiling.
Everybody
you
was
better
Shachter.
smile too, Shachter.
You're asking for a lot, Brent.
I always do, actually. And you deliver quite a bit.
Oh,
we appreciate that.
Thank you, buddy.
Not saying anything nice to Kasey today, though.
Some nice specific feedback from you.
Kasey's
I really
doing a
appreciate
very
that.
good job, too, but I can't say it out loud. I hope he didn't hear
No, he'll get mad if you tell him.
that. Brent Martineau, Kasey Kurtz, Aaron
We can always be
Shachter.
better, boys. That's the point.
We can. Listen, I don't get satisfied, but you can still say nice job. And we had this conversation the last couple of days. Kasey doesn't like compliments.
Any of them, not
does
even
not.
real ones, not even actual specific ones with things that actually happened in real life. He refuses to accept a compliment. So fine, Case. You're that bad.
Kasey, when you guys did your vows, did you say, stop?
Kind of.
Don't say that.
Yeah, Amanda's, I love you. You're a good man. He's like, shut up.
Wedding's off.
Yeah.
You're working with the right guy. I don't throw compliments around very often.
Listen, the only compliment I'm looking for is your FIFA game is cold. I'll be like, you right. You right.
Unbelievable.
You don't want to see me in FIFA.
I'm with them though.
I don't
And-
want to watch you play FIFA.
And I get
You
some
don't wanna
people.
see me?
I get people who feel this way, who don't like the empty compliments. Right? People go up to you and they're like, "Hey, that thing that was great," and then that's the end of it. It's like, all right, fine, thank you for being nice to me, but when it comes to feedback, being specific is good, right? Like you want to hear. You want to hear what you did specifically that was good so you can lean into that. Or maybe what you did that was bad. Brent, I tell you you're bad all the time. I get real specific about
And
it.
I like it. I actually would rather people tell me that what I can get better at than what I'm good at.
Well, you are paired with the right co-host, buddy.
And not only that, the list is longer on the left side, is what you're telling me.
It's the neighborhood I live in, man.
You know what's the beauty about right now? It doesn't matter how much we suck. You want Jags content. I was thinking of this. If Kasey doesn't like compliments, I sure hope Doug Peterson does.
Oh, man. He's gotten his fill just from this room recently, huh?
I hope Doug Peterson can take compliments better than Kasey because he's getting them all over the place right now. Doug Peterson, what a job he's done. We got the big thank you, Doug card behind us that so many of you signed the other night.
Hundreds.
Our ESPN 690 Game Day Live
Hundreds
from the
of
Duval
people.
House. I mean, seriously, hundreds. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds.
It's crazy.
It was awesome. That was such a cool atmosphere. You know what I really loved the other day that is not talked about enough is the atmosphere before the game.
Oh, okay.
Everybody's talking about the energy in the stadium, which is cool. We were all anticipating it. But I just thought the lead up was so cool. And I said this on the show. I don't know if I brought this up on our postgame show when you were in, Aaron, but I think I said to Brian and Kasey, it felt like where we were at the Duval House, right outside the stadium, had a little bit of New Orleans in it, a little bit of Bourbon Street.
Yeah, like a festival atmosphere.
Maybe we did bring that up in the postgame because I think we were talking about the different smells.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we did.
I have talked a lot over the last couple of days, and I don't remember when I said what. So, but it was cool, Kasey, wasn't it? Like the buildup was, we've been at the Duval House every Sunday, and we're there for Florida, Georgia. This was better than Florida, Georgia.
That's saying something.
And I'm not saying it was bigger, and like I'm not sure it was.
You're saying on the vibe level.
But on the vibe level, it was better because there's one thing about Florida, Georgia, Georgia, Florida. We should probably say Georgia, Florida today because they're going for a national championship, and you can listen to it right here on ESPN 690.
Florida, Georgia.
But the one thing about that game is we're used to it. Like, we've done it before. Saturday night was something. Maybe we've done it before in Jacksonville, but it's been a damn long time since we've done it in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's a freshness to it.
You know, and to that point, I was talking to my wife about this and how cool this is. And she's like, yeah, the Jags haven't been good since. And I was like, well, they went to the playoffs in 2017. She goes, was it only that long ago? And I was like, I know. It feels like decades ago, doesn't it? Like it's a different world at this point.
Oh, no. 2017 is a long time ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, Jets haven't been in the playoffs in 12 years.
Nobody
so.
cares. Not one person.
Just saying, some people experience other things, Kasey.
All right, so I fast forward a little bit because we know where we're at here, right? The Chargers coming to town Saturday night prime time. Two things. One quick around the horn. Are you surprised it's 8:15 in prime time? Again.
No, I'm not. Although I didn't expect it. If you would have asked me which game, I would have said probably.
Yeah,
one of the
I
early
put the
games.
handicapping in the afternoon games, like
Sure.
the late windows.
Sure, but for them to put it there isn't shocking to me. This is a team that has the world's attention right now, and they're playing a team that's exciting.
I'm not surprised. I'm
You're
not
not.
surprised in a little bit. Herbert, Lawrence. Look at the other matchups you got. You don't know who's playing quarterback for the Ravens. You've got, on the other side, nothing really that interesting. I'm not surprised at all.
I'm kind of
Besides, like, even Dallas, Tampa is not interesting from a football perspective. Like, there's a
It's
lot
not
of
even-
fans of both teams. It's not fun.
It's not going to be a fun game.
Giants, Vikings, not fun. Bills, Dolphins, not fun.
Could be,
If Tua plays, maybe a little more fun.
or just fun to see the Dolphins get hammered.
why isn't the Cowboys Bucks going to be fun?
Because the
I
Bucks
don't
are not a
think
good
it's
team.
game. Yeah, the Bucks aren't that good. Now, it could be the battle of mid. If Dallas plays like they did on yesterday, it could be the battle of mid. But I'm not intrigued by that. I'm more intrigued to see, again, I'm biased a little bit here, but I would want to see Herbert and Lawrence versus whatever Tampa's got going and Dak, who keeps throwing it to the other team consistently.
Yeah, I guess. I hear what you're saying. Listen, there's no surprise that game is in prime time. I agree with you there. I was a little surprised. It's the Bengals on Sunday night, right? Yeah. I was a little surprised they put that one on Sunday night. But
I don't get that either.
I think there might have been a makeup for last week's Bills-Bengals not being played on Monday night, so then they gave priority to ESPN. I don't know how that whole thing works. I want to find out. Now I'm intrigued, and I know it's kind of a geeky TV thing, but it's fascinating to me how they get the games and who gets what because, again, if you looked at it before the weekend, 4 o'clock, 8 o'clock window, 1 o'clock, 4 o'clock window all had Fox, CBS, and NBC next to it, which means they were basically bidding or jockeying or negotiating who was going to go where.
Yeah.
And NBC ended up with Sunday Night Football and Saturday Night Football, and NBC takes the Jags, which, again, is a good matchup. But this is a franchise that has not had a primetime game off a Thursday night since 2011 and just went back-to-back. But they didn't play the most entertaining brand of game on Saturday night either.
No, they didn't, but they have the potential to, and we all understand that.
Call them the Chicago Bulls. They going back to back. To back.
Well,
To back.
I don't know when the windows are the next week, but maybe they could. So
To back.
I just think it was a little surprising to me. I was really surprised. I wouldn't have been surprised for the Monday night. I had a hunch that it might be Monday night, and I guess that 4-5 seed plays on Monday. I haven't quite figured out why, but I guess that's why. They always take a 4-5, and they have the last couple of years now. So I just did not expect Saturday night. I really didn't. I didn't even put it on my handicapping list. I was like, there's no way they're going to pick them again on Saturday night.
Yeah.
And they did. But like all the windows are good. There's only so many games, so it's okay. But they really, I think the worst window is probably that Bills-Dolphins window. Like that. So if you're ranking the games, they basically said we think the Bills-Dolphins game is going to be the worst game of the weekend.
It's shaping up that way, especially if Tua is not going to play.
So out of all that, with prime time again, can we duplicate it? Not just inside the stadium, but the buzz of this week. It's not the Titans, it's the Chargers. It's 2 weeks in a row. Is this going to build? Is the buzz in town going to be unbelievable? There's no hate for the Chargers now. You can't get that. But it is the playoffs, and now you're in the dance. Like, is it going to be as big as we think it is going to be, building towards Saturday and another epic day in downtown Jacksonville like it was? Because that was a day that people are going to remember on Saturday. Are they going to remember this one just as well?
I think so.
Me too.
I think this is cancel your plans type stuff, right? 2017 was a minute ago, and people canceled their plans for that Buffalo game, which, by the way, was during the day. So, yeah, do it again. Run it back. Part 2.
Part 2.
Listen, I think also if you are as diehard as a lot of Jags fans are, you're in it to win it. I think if you missed out on this and maybe didn't do the tailgating thing or go to the game, whatever it may be, and you look at how everybody reacted to it, all the fun people had, the moments that were made, you're like, I got to be a part of that.
That's the thing, right? Little FOMO.
Oh, yeah.
No,
Oh, yeah.
A lot of FOMO.
Everybody's Facebook feed was filled with somebody
It
who
was
went
amazing.
there.
It was
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
Like I said this to Kasey this morning on Monday Morning Madness. Are we sure there was only 70,000 people in that building? Because the
There were
amount of
more,
people
huh?
I saw go into the stadium from the Duval house, we walked with a lot of them when we went over there.
Our closest friends.
But the amount of people on Facebook, and I guess like it probably feels like I have more Facebook friends than I really do, but every time you went through there or on Twitter, it was like, the game was awesome. I went
Yep.
to the game, pictures
Yep.
of the game. Like I was like, did all these people really go?
I'm telling
I
you,
guess
and they'll
they
be
did.
there again this weekend.
They went, yeah.
So I the answer to it is yeah, but it's just it's going to feel a little bit different. The Titans, I'm telling you, helped build that.
And I get it. It's part of the storyline, too. We've all been talking about it for weeks. I get it. There is no way this city, this stadium, is not going to be electric for a home playoff game this weekend. It's going to be out of control.
Yeah.
Do you keep all the teal, by the way? Do you keep the teal end
They
zones?
should. I don't know that they will. I don't know if they're allowed, but they should.
The end zones, potentially. I want all black unis.
Yeah, a lot of people, there are some people I watched the game with who were like, oh, all teal, where's all the black? I was like, come on. The teal colorway is the nicest alternative jersey, I think, in the entire league. I know a lot of people, they love the white Bengals jerseys with the stripes, whatever. I'm telling you, that teal colorway is hot. And it looked good out there.
It was really interesting to hear, like, my mom, she'll call, like, the next day, and she was just talking forever about the Jags, which was kind of funny. But she actually said that she's like, oh, all the teal looked gorgeous on TV. I was like, that's cool. Like, I guess it looked good on TV, and I think it did.
I'll tell you another reason I love it, because when you look in the stands, fans are wearing teal.
Well, that was the beauty, right? I mean, I didn't see any of that powder blue. We did see some jerseys, but you couldn't make it out if you looked at the stadium.
So, like, you want to talk about 12th man stuff, the way Seattle gets it done with their 12th man? I mean, it was the same thing in our stadium against the Titans, and I think that momentum just carries over to this weekend.
So it'll be interesting to see what they do. Different uniform combination, I would guess, is what they'll do, but
All black.
I don't know if they'll keep the end zones. I think they'll keep the end zones.
They should.
Anything but white on teal.
You know, somebody said maybe because of the teal jerseys and the teal end zone, Trevor didn't see Zay Jones breaking free. And I know it sounds kind of crazy, but
maybe.
I mean, could it have been?
Bro, I said
by the
that.
way, you said it?
Yes.
Meanwhile,
sorry.
green and teal aren't that far from each other.
Well-
It's not like they stand out.
Well, if they don't have teal in the end zones, I guarantee you behind the scenes, that's what happened. Because Trevor will be like, can you get rid of the teal end zones?
Yeah. Can you please
Or
make the
white
end zone
jerseys,
white?
right? Or
Yeah, something. Give me a yellow jersey and a black end zone, please. Thank you.
Stevie Stack says the buzz is real. I've got something for you guys. And this is outlandish,
All right.
Great.
but you're in it. Can the Jags win the AFC? I'm not going to say win the Super Bowl. Can the Jags win the AFC? You're 3 games away, right? I think people will say, hey, can the Jags beat the Chargers? Yeah, I think so. Sure they can. They already did. The Chargers are different. They're not going to beat them 38-10.
Poorly coached team.
And they're at
gonna be
home,
a great week.
right? And there's
Say
a
that
short
every
week
day.
for them, and they are still a little banged up. And I think the Jags are coming off a we got away with this kind of offensive performance. I think they're due to pop on offense, and you can do that. That defense of the Chargers is hit or miss sometimes. So, yes, is the answer. Now, it gets a lot harder after that. It's going to be the Kansas City Chiefs, and then it's going to be either the Bills or the Bengals, I would assume.
Or the Ravens or the Dolphins. But yeah, Bills or Bengals.
But, hey, I'm just asking. Cincinnati, if I asked this question last year at the beginning of the postseason, most people would be like, Brent, come on. They got to get through the Bills and the Chiefs, and they got to, they got to go on the road.
Mm-hmm.
And they did.
They did.
And we've seen, if the bottom line here is if Trevor Lawrence can get hot the next 3 weeks, the answer is why not?
Yeah, why not? On any given Sunday, I know it's cliche, you hate to say it, but it happens, especially in this league, more so than any other league or sport. On any given day, any team could beat any team. That's the whole parity narrative we get sold on. Beating Kansas City is a tough one. Following up beating Kansas City and Kansas City by beating Buffalo and Buffalo, or beating Cincinnati and Cincinnati is another tall order. But why not?
Kasey, I think it's far-fetched, right? I don't know what the odds are. The Dolphins are probably the longest of odds. The Jags probably next, even more so than the Chargers, I would say, because the Chargers are a favorite in this game.
They are.
Jags are an underdog at home, which, by the way, Doug Peterson will play up probably. But
Not by much, though. And I think I saw the line open at 2.5. I think I saw it as low as 1 today.
yeah, but it's floating between 1 and 2. But keep in mind, Jags get 3 points just for being at home.
But also keep in mind, Joey Bosa and Mike Williams both went down with injury last night. So depending on what that looks like towards the middle of the week, we may see that line move even
And
further.
also keep this in mind. They did win 38-10 earlier in the year over them, even though I know things are different and it's like 5 years later.
Yeah.
Like, I get it, but they did. Casey,
Yep.
can they win the AFC? Like, can you find me a path for them to do it without being like they have to win. It has to be a miracle.
You know,
Say no. It's okay to say no.
Well, here's the thing. I believe if they're clicking, they're clicking. If the defense is playing like this, the offense needs to be playing like they can play. The offense as currently playing like they did on Saturday night, no, they absolutely cannot win the AFC. But if the offense goes back to what they were doing, Raiders in the second half, Ravens in the second half, when they were clicking and Trevor was dealing with the defense playing the way they are, yeah.
And here's the other side of that coin,
Why
too.
not?
The defense has been playing very well lately, at least covering for the Jags when they need it most. You're about to start playing some pretty significant quarterbacks and offenses.
Yeah.
Like, you can't have one of those games where you hope the offense does its thing and that'll be enough. You need both phases of football to get in there and do their thing.
Let me just, again, I'm not even trying to get that far. It just came to my mind. It's like, hey, here we are, right? I mean, why not? The Jags, sure, you have a chance, but that's not really what I'm asking. Can they realistically find a path? And there's two answers to this question of why they could. It's Trevor gets hot like any quarterback has, from Manning to Flacco to others, or to the hot quarterback of a Joe Burrow, which would be more like the Joe Burrow kind of hot quarterback, or even a Josh Allen last year. We've seen now Mahomes be great. But if he's as good as everybody says he is, and we think he is, and he's that kind of talent, then why not get that shot, right? He could.
Yeah.
And Doug knows how to play this time of year. He knows how to win this time of year. But the other part of it is, I would say, their defense to me still isn't, okay, we're going to ride the defense to the Super Bowl. It's not the Niners. It's not even maybe what the Ravens could be or the Eagles are or could be. But they are top 5 in the NFL in turnovers, and they have 32 of them on the year. And they got some against the Chargers. Josh Allen right now is throwing it to the other team. Joe Burrow can get a little He can get a little arrogant and confident and throw it to the other team. And Patrick Mahomes and company, they had 3 turnovers in that game, if I'm not mistaken, against Kansas City. So
yes, correct.
Let me just put this out there,
So turnovers and Trevor is my point.
Okay.
If they are able to ride a wave, then they possibly could.
It's all possible. But the thing to keep in mind, and again, obviously we got the Chargers to look forward to this weekend before we talk about anybody else.
I'm going to the Super Bowl, man.
Fair enough. On your way there, though, if you see Kansas City, Buffalo, or Cincy, also know that they are the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th ranked teams in first half offense. So if the Jags come out with the sleepy offense in the first half, like we've seen so many times, just waiting to get warmed up or figure out the game script at halftime and adjust, they might find themselves in too big of a hole. And I hate saying by the way because it's a crutch for me now. I hear myself say it all the time. But by the way, Kansas City number 2, Buffalo number 3, Cincinnati number 4. Can anyone guess who the 5th highest scoring first half team in the league is? It's the Chargers.
Yeah.
It's the Chargers.
You know that against the Chargers, by the way, the Jags only allowed a field goal in the second half.
That's true.
Okay, we'll talk about this Chargers. By the way, that's Stat Boy jumping in. You know, we're going on 4 years of this radio show coming up this week. We will celebrate that.
Happy birthday, by the way.
I don't really think we'll celebrate it. We were going to, but
Yeah, what happened to that?
yeah,
We started early on the discussion.
I know. Well,
We talk about a lot of
Jags.
stuff.
This is nonsense.
listen, we're adding shows left and right this week, guys. We
Don't
can't
gotta
go
tell
have,
me. I'm involved.
Yeah, we can't just be
Talk
popping
to Shaq. He's the only one that shows up.
beer and food and getting parties together. We got to plan the Super Bowl parade. We'll do the thing after in February. But anyway, that Stat Boy, he would jump in and share some stats with us. So he's been on board ever since day one. So we
Very
appreciate Dan. And he just shared because I said the lowest odds. I was actually thinking in the AFC for the context. I didn't say that, but I was thinking AFC. Do they have the lowest odds outside of the Dolphins?
Yeah.
And he says the Jags have the 7th best odds according to the site out of anyone in the playoffs.
So that's 14 teams.
Out of 14 teams. Chiefs, Eagles are like 21.1% and 21%. So they're basically even.
Tied, yeah.
The Niners are next, right behind them. So 3 favorites. Bills, the Bengals, the Cowboys, and then the Jags.
Wow. So all of those
By the
teams
way,
are
Jags
serious.
at 2%. But
Okay, but all those teams in front of them, super serious Super Bowl contenders. Jags right there with them.
Cowboys.
so that would make the Jags 1, 2, 3, 4th
Six.
biggest odds
Okay.
in the AFC. That does surprise me.
That's cool.
Hey, by the way, good point from the chat. Craig said he would feel much better about the situation if you didn't have to go through Kansas City next. Like if you got a chance for Kansas City to lose to a Buffalo or a different team before the Jags. I agree with that.
Yeah,
Like,
if
I'd
they
feel a
get
lot
little
better.
help.
I'd feel like better going to Buffalo is what I'm getting at. Like, I think Buffalo's gettable, where Kansas City, I'm like,
It does feel like Buffalo's a little more gettable, but I don't know if I want to go to Buffalo.
man. Do you want to go to Buffalo in January?
I know, but Kansas City's cold too, though.
It is.
But it's not just about first of all, Buffalo cold and Kansas City cold, I think, are two different things. One's
That's
like a
probably
Canada
fair.
cold, and one's like an America cold.
Well, that's fair.
That's true.
Ain't nobody want to go to Cincinnati.
That is very true. Odds on, Stevie says, Irish Jaguar, odds on Paddy Power here in Ireland. Paddy Power, I love it. That's a cool website.
It's a teal kilt.
So the odds there have the Jaguars
I want to bet on Paddy.
40-1. 40-1. They got the Chiefs, the Bills, the Eagles, the Niners, the Bengals, the Cowboys, the Chargers are ahead of the Jags. So are the Ravens. So are the Bucks. So are the Vikings, and then the Jags. See, that's where more I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
The only other AFC team outside the Jags, the Dolphins are lower, and then the Giants and Seattle are lower.
Hey, who just said that about Paddy Power?
That's Irish Jaguar.
Irish Jaguar. Do you guys think this is a serious question? It's going to sound stupid, I know. Like,
Well, I'm listening. Now I'm locked in.
I was like, what's the difference between this question and every
the other
question you
questions,
ask?
right? Do you think like they make their odds? So like, I wonder if you will occasionally, if you're like a diehard NFL fan, they just give you something that's like obviously wrong because they're not locked in. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I don't know. Irish
Like
Jaguar
Vegas
probably
is
could
like-
answer that.
Like, I wonder if Vegas does the same thing to like if you're betting on like the Irish Premier League or something.
Or highlight?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I
that
wonder
there's
if-
a big miss, like a skew.
Yeah.
Don't
I
you
get what
think
you're
it's
saying.
not like some dude in a Vegas office guessing at highlight like they have contacts in these countries for
Well,
this stuff?
what I think is probably the guys in Vegas feeding the Irish Paddy Power
Yeah.
betting site.
Yeah, that's my main question.
You know, I think
Yeah.
that's probably
or
the
is
case.
is Paddy Power doing? We need Paddy Power on the show.
Paddy
frankly.
Power is terrific.
It's
I love it.
fantastic.
There's something I really love about it. Hey, is Joe on the line?
Yes.
Let's get to Joe quick. I know we got some people on the line, but we're going to have to take a break here in a moment. But Joe, I think it's North Carolina Joe, who we met.
Correct.
Is my guess. It's
Yep.
North Carolina Joe. Joe, you on your way back? You already make it home? I mean, what's the deal?
Yeah, we already made it back. We drove back yesterday, so got back last night about 8. So, yeah, definitely met, and it was an awesome experience down there for sure. As you can tell, my voice is a little bit different than Saturday or Friday when I was driving down.
I was like, Joe, I mean, you know, it's just in the same energy when you called us from your section late at ESPN 690 Game Day Live from the Duval
That's right,
house,
that's
man,
right.
which was an awesome call.
That's right. Yeah, we had an awesome time. In fact, I had a couple of my friends send me pictures saying, "Hey, we saw you on TV." I was there with my Trevor wig on and my Duval till we die hat on as well too. So it was awesome.
That's really cool. Hey, one last thing I want to ask you. Well, you can keep going, but I want to ask you this. How nervous were you as a fan? Like, my family was out there, so I know how they were feeling. I know how other people were feeling. But how nervous were you as that clock is ticking down, under 3 minutes to go, Jags on a third down, and you know the offense is struggling, and they have got to make one more stop, and you had no idea what was coming next?
You know, it's funny you asked that question because I was sitting around and next to some of the Jaguars fans that are Jaguars fans that, quote, show me something Jaguars fans. They want to see the Jags pull through. And even my wife was, she was getting on my nerves a little bit. She's like, here we go again. I was like, Dave, I already told you we're going to win the game. Just like I called you guys on Friday and said at the spoiler we're going to win. I was like, Dave, we're going to win. Don't worry about it. So I had all the confidence in the defense that they were going to pull it out. You got Tyson Campbell getting an interception, right? And then you have Rashean hitting Dobbs from the back, and then Josh Allen on the scoop and score. And that, I mean, the energy in that stadium was absolutely ridiculous. And earlier in the show, you were asking, hey, can we kind of duplicate it? My thought on that was, I don't see why we can't duplicate it because I feel like last week or a few days ago was kind of tying up loose ends and taking care of old business with the Titans. And that was for not only Jacksonville, but like the older fans like myself who went through 99, have all that hurt. And now you have all this younger generation coming on too. That's like, hey, this is our team now. We can puff our chest out a little bit more and everything as well too. And I don't see why we can't duplicate it because now you have the older fans who are like, okay, now you showed me something. You beat the Titans twice in a year. And now we're going to the playoffs, another home playoff game. And going back to what you guys said earlier on in the show, talking about canceling plans. So in October, I bought tickets to the Celtics and the Hornets games because I'm a Hornets fan. My son's a Celtics fan, and my daughter's a Hornets fan with me as well. Of course, you know what time that game is, right? It's 7 o'clock this Saturday. And I knew last week, I was like, I know if the Jags win, they're going to schedule it at 8 o'clock on Saturday night again. And sure enough, they did. So I had a serious sit-down conversation with my daughter this morning and said, hey, you mind if we don't go? Because I'll go to the game, but I'm going to be watching the game on my phone, the Jags game, and my heart's going to be elsewhere. So she was very accommodating. I'll take her to another game, but those tickets are being listed, and I'll be watching the Jags win this Saturday from the comfort of my couch. I will not be there joining you guys in Jacksonville this time, though.
Awesome, Joe. Appreciate it, man. Thanks for jumping in the last few days. Been fun to kind of follow you along there in North Carolina. Good dad and better daughter, by the way. Cool. Good stuff, man.
Absolutely. And it was awesome getting to sign Doug's poster as well, too. That was awesome the way that came out. You guys keep up the great work. I'll be listening as always. And Duval.
Thanks, Joe. Appreciate you. You know, he just said something. We got to get the break. Why do we have to take commercials on days like this, right? But he did say it, and I saw Kasey shake his head while he was saying it and nodding yes in approval. I think, yes, last week there was a little bit of unfinished, but also maybe nervous energy because it was the Titans, right? To his point, and I was thinking about this, it might be a confident energy against the Chargers on Saturday night. So maybe it does have a little bit of a different feel, even though the electricity will be similar. All right, let's take a break. We come back. Brent and Friends on ESPN 690. Rashean Mathis joins us in the 4 o'clock hour. Usually have Mojo. We got to save him for a little bit later in the week, hopefully, because he had some conflicts here in the 3 o'clock hour. We will get Mojo on later this week. We get Rashean Mathis on at 4, Mathis on Mondays. We keep talking Jags when we come back on ESPN 690.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Partly to mostly sunny skies on this Monday with pleasant temperatures in the upper 60s and low 70s. Skies will stay clear tonight, but it gets chilly. Overnight lows back down in the 40s. Have a great Monday. From the Action News Jax First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Corey Sima.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds. Before you buy a diamond anywhere, shop Beard's Diamonds.
The Eagles Hotel California Tour.
Welcome to the Hotel California.
Live in concert with a full orchestra.
Take it.
Performing their iconic album Hotel California, beginning to end. Plus a greatest hit set. The Eagles. 5-Star Veterans Memorial Arena, Saturday, March 25th. Get tickets Friday, January 13th at 10 a.m. at Ticketmaster.com.
In Florida, it's not if the storms are coming, it's when the storms are coming. And that's why you need the Chief. Jacksonville's chief meteorologist, Mike Burrish, with a proven track record of keeping local families safe. Rain, heat, hurricanes, flooding, tornadoes. We get it all. Just more reasons why you need the Chief. Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish, backed by the First Alert Weather Team. Only on CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jax.
We're dealing at Best Bet St. Augustine, the only card room and sports bar in St. Augustine, Florida. With nonstop action, poker games of all limits, exciting tournaments and table games, and a sports bar showing all the action, Best Bet St. Augustine has you covered. Don't miss our delicious dining options, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and our always popular freshly made sushi. Best Bet St. Augustine is located at 800 Marketplace Drive off exit 311, where I-95 and State Road 207 meet. Learn more at bestbetjacks.com.
You've been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. You have to carefully monitor your health for the rest of your life. And you have an increased risk of developing cardiovascular disease.
Cut. Take 2. Action.
You've been diagnosed with a new purpose, to fight for the amazing life you made for yourself. To look that risk of heart disease square in the face and say, no, not me. You've been given a new opportunity to live. Get started at NoDiabetesByHeart.org.
Injured on the job? It takes one phone call to take back control of your life. Anajar Levine will fight to get you the compensation you deserve. Call me, Glenn Levine, for a free consultation. 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
Main office, Jacksonville.
Could your business service more customers if you could just find the right staff? At CMG, we have a large database of people who have specifically opted in the last 14 days to receive more information about job opportunities. Through our omni-channel approach, we can launch a complete marketing approach across email, social media, and video to market to these people, and with a message about why they should come work for you. Let us do the work for you to find the talent you need. Head to cmg.com to find out more, and we will get back to you with the next steps.
The holidays are behind us, and that means nothing but open road ahead. So make every mile this new year the best it can be in a new Toyota from Arlington Toyota. Camry, Corolla, RAV4, Tundra, Tacoma. Arlington Toyota's got 400 new Toyotas available and ready for wherever you want to go in 2023. Plus, every new car purchase from Arlington Toyota comes with a lifetime warranty and Arlington's 30-day exchange program. Where will your new Toyota take you in 2023? Find out and shop arlingtontoyota.com today.
Hi, Stan Nagel for Energy Seal Foam Insulation. If you have a metal building, it was too hot last summer, and it's going to be cold this winter. Treat yourself with foam insulation. Foam insulation really does work. Save 30% off our summer rates. Call us today, 888-306-3626, EnergySealToday.com.
Listen to ESPN 690 anytime, anywhere, on any device. Whether you're at home or on the go, get the latest on the Jags, FSU, the Jumbo Shrimp, and Action Sports Jacks on Odyssey.com. That's AUDACY.com or on ESPN690.com.
Brent and friends, ESPN 690, Brent Martineau, Aaron Schachter, Kasey Kurtz. The Jags are in the playoffs. It's hard to believe, but it's true. Believe it or not, things are happening around here. The boys are here. And in the break, we were just talking about the strangest things. We do that a lot. Compliments, being thankful for people. And would you believe it that my phone rings here in the studio while we're talking about being thankful, and it is someone that wants to share their thanks for their experience at the game. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Hayden.
Oh, last week's winner.
I think you want to talk to Brent Martineau about something. Hayden, how are you?
Hayden.
What's up, fellas? How we doing today, man?
How's it going, buddy?
Dude, fantastic. Other than having to sit in the parent pickup line waiting on all the kids to get into practice, doing great. So,
big win for you today.
Oh, yeah.
How was Saturday, man?
Oh, dude, I can't even begin to tell you. I just can't begin to explain my thanks, my gratitude to you guys, to Brent, to whoever provided those tickets. It was about the coolest experience I've ever had. Being a Jags fan since I could pretty much walk. I mean, I moved to Jacksonville when I was 3 years old. I'm 20 now, about to turn 21. And it's just, I'm used to that stadium being like half full, 3/4 full. An hour and a half before the game, it was basically filled to the brim.
Wow.
It was something like I've never seen before. It was awesome, dude. Afterwards, I got to see my buddy Shaq Quarterman. Actually got to meet T-Law for the first time, so that was awesome.
Very cool.
It was just from jump, it was great. So I can't thank you guys enough, man.
Well, hey, man, you did a good job getting those. You earned them, and you wanted to do it. I'm only mad when you got off the air that you were going to that JV basketball game, I think it was, at Nice High School, as you were winning the tickets, and we said you were actually in the basketball game when we announced the winner. And I should have said the only way you get the tickets is if you get a technical foul.
You got to throw the chair.
It's actually funny. It's actually funny. Our head coach for varsity got a text.
All right, good enough.
In that game. Didn't get a warning, so that was interesting. But, yeah, he did get a text. So
ref must have been a Titans fan.
Too, but, it is what it is.
All right, man. Hey, well, enjoy the week. It's going to be another fun week. Glad you got to experience that, and good job. You earned those tickets last weekend.
I appreciate it, buddy. Have a great rest of your day, guys.
All right, that's Hayden. That's pretty fun stuff. Brent Martineau, Aaron Schachter, Kasey Kurtz here on ESPN 690. And who else we got hanging on? Let's get to a phone before we get to the next topic. We got South Beach Gary?
We do.
Jump in there. South Beach Gary, what's happening? You got the Dolphins, you got the Jags in the postseason. You got your January filled.
And Tampa, the first time since 99, all three made it.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
In the same season.
But it really shouldn't be crazy because the Dolphins, what are they making it? South Beach Gary, second time in 20 years?
Yeah, it's the first time since, 16?
Yeah, and then the Jags, of course, haven't been
but
great.
Hi, Aaron. Hi, Aaron. That New York Jet collapse, baby. Hey, I have two questions for you guys, and one Jag-related and the other non-Jag story. What's the biggest surprise to you in the NFL season? Was it Aaron Rodgers' poor play, Russell Wilson just completely collapsing poor play, or do you have another one? And the second one is, given that the Jags have troubles running the football since Cam Robinson got injured, do you think maybe he was underappreciated as a tackle for the Jags? And I'll let y'all answer. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate that. That's a good question. Let's go to the Jags one first. Well, it's a mixed bag. Since he went out, they actually ran the ball pretty effectively.
Yeah, I thought ETN had some great games. Yeah.
Well, these last few weeks, not the other day. But the one thing about Tennessee, man, is they are stout against the run. They're second in the NFL against the run. So you weren't going to be able to run the ball. You had to at least try to run the ball. They couldn't run the ball. They got dominated. I don't know how Walker Little graded out. I know you look at the grades, but Cam Robinson, I think, is probably better. So, yeah, that could have helped. I think this was bigger than that, though. I think a bunch of guys on that offensive line got beat up. I just think they won. Like, you tip your cap. You lost that battle in the trenches in the run game. And you absolutely did. I mean, Tennessee dominated in that sense.
Yeah, I think that with ETN, too, the way he gets to 100-plus yards is usually through a home run play. And when you stop running the ball, essentially, throughout the game because it's just not working for you, you limit those chances. So it wasn't as surprising to me against the Titans. But to your point, Brent, I don't think it's a Cam thing. And Walker Little did grade out really well. He was actually one of the highest graded. I think he was the highest graded offensive lineman on the team for the game. So great game by Walker Little. It just wasn't happening in the run blocking. The other thing that Gary was talking about was the biggest surprise of the season. I don't know what your answer is going to be, but for me, I thought the NFC East was the biggest surprise of the season for me. I think before the season started, we were looking at it going, oh, the Cowboys, and yeah, maybe the Eagles are good, but I don't think anyone expected it to be the best division in football. Certainly not sending 3 out of 4 teams to the playoffs, almost 4 out of 4. Crazy time.
That is a good call. Like, there are a lot of surprises, by the way. The Lions and the Jags are right there.
Sure.
The Steelers being 9-8, but nobody would put them in there because they're the Steelers.
Mm-hmm.
I do think Russell Wilson's poor. Like, I never thought Russell Wilson was that bad. Now I'm wondering if he's just not good anymore.
I doubt that's the situation. Like, I think it was a combination of new team, new playbook, new coach, new coaching staff, new teammates, new plays, and that all came together with everyone on that team disliking him. Because I believe that's real from all those stories you see.
But you think it's more real than the defenders of him over the last couple of weeks especially?
I don't believe the defenders of him, or else you would have heard them at the beginning of the year. I think that maybe the organization or the remaining coaching staff has this conversation with team leadership going, look, we have to stick up for our people at this point. And so maybe that's what that's about. But you're about to clean house there on that coaching staff. And I think next year you see a wildly different Russell Wilson. I doubt that this is what he is now.
Casey, what you got?
I think Russ Wilson's the problem. Are that what we talking about, or just the biggest surprise?
What's your biggest surprise?
Is Russell the biggest surprise?
I'm not going to lie. I thought Denver was going to win the division. The fact that the Raiders were bad. You guys remember when I bet on Derek Carr to win MVP?
Yeah.
Well, actually, like you said, the NFC East, the AFC West is
just as surprising, yeah.
Kind of in the other way. We
Not
thought
even
that was going to be a
kinda.
dominant.
We thought all 4 teams were going to
the Chargers and Chiefs are good.
Well, now they're good, but the Chargers weren't for most of the season. For half the season, they were like, what happened to the Chargers?
Also, co-sign on the East. I thought them boys were going to be horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, the East.
Except the Eagles. But
yeah, the East is pretty good.
Were you guys shocked by Saquon Barkley this year? I didn't think he was going to have
because he just hadn't done anything.
Right. I thought
he
was
nothing
done.
to buy into.
Right.
But listen, when you're talking about, like, this is a fun topic, and Rodgers is in there too. Like, I mean, this whole thing.
Brady.
But Brady found it at the end.
Tampa.
And Rodgers did too, by the way. Like, it was the thumb injury, and now he's playing well. So
I'll give you this.
Done now.
I still think Russell Wilson is, because what you just said is right. Denver was picked by a lot of people to be like a sexy pick here.
Yeah.
And people forget that. And they were like, within a month, within 3 weeks, you knew they were terrible.
He looked awful.
After the first game, you were like, why did he kick a 68-yard field goal to try to win?
Yeah, the whole thing was a disaster.
Which I still think was a good move.
The other thing about it is
yeah.
the whole league was pretty average. And a lot of that's because you had 64 quarterbacks play. And nobody could anticipate that. Like, it's surprising to see that many quarterbacks play. But I don't know how the Jags wouldn't be on anybody's list of at least, like, in a multiple choice question here or poll.
The Jags were
the Jags went from number 1 overall to win the division at 9-8. It's not like if they had won the division at 7-10 or 8-9, 9-8 makes a big difference. And so for the Jags to come out of nowhere after being 2-6, the Steelers to come out of nowhere after being 2-6, well, it's still Mike Tomlin and the Steelers, right?
Yep.
I don't care if they had you and I playing. He'd find a way, it feels like. The Jags
I don't know.
The Jags don't find ways to win.
Well, they do now.
And they did. And that's what's still astonishing, really, about the game. The Jags don't win that kind of game. The Jags are disappointed because they didn't play well enough, even though they were better. The Jags don't stop them with 2:51 to go. Forget about make a play. They don't even stop them. They get a first down, and they run out the clock. Or the offense gets the ball back with like a minute to go. But I will say this. I thought if they stopped them there and didn't even get a scoop and score, I actually had a good feeling that Doug and Trevor were going to find a way to at least get in field goal range and force overtime.
I did not.
You didn't?
Mm-mm.
I know they had. Now that you had there's reason for you not to have a feeling. They were getting dominated. They had been 3 and out 3 consecutive times, and really they were 3 and out, I think, 4 consecutive times. One of them was the Tyson Campbell turnover that led to a field goal, or maybe that was part of the 3 that I'm counting. Bottom line is their offense was doing nothing. But I don't know, man. Because this team has found a way, I felt like Trevor and Doug would find a way. I just didn't see the finding of the way to at least tie the game would come from that play.
Yeah.
Rashawn Jenkins and the Josh Allen scoop and score. Aaron, what do you think? Did you think it was over?
I did. Yeah, I thought the Jags were having a hard time moving the ball. I thought, all the efforts were being made. It just wasn't working out for them that night, and it seemed like a very NFL thing that the Titans would come in with Josh Dobbs and injured folks like Derrick Henry and Treylon Burks and Simmons and Autry and come in and still win the game in Jacksonville when everyone was so sure they wouldn't. But ultimately, they were able to get it done, and it felt great.
And by the way, they were cooking. We talked about this on the postgame. They were cooking in the first half. Josh Dobbs was cooking, and the defense was like, settle down, and they came to play.
I think I know the answer. I'm going to ask Twitter this, and I think everybody's going to kind of agree with you guys. Like, yeah, the Jags wouldn't have won the game if they had to get the ball back on a punt with 2.5 minutes to go in 3 timeouts.
In the second,
but I disagree with you guys.
In the second half for the Jaguars, it went field goal, punt, punt, end of game.
And one of those, they had the shortest field that you can almost get.
Yeah.
With the Tyson interception.
Yeah, their offense got stymied.
They had short fields most of the night because of Agnew.
Agnew had a great game.
He was awesome.
Yeah.
He was terrific. Patrick said Jeff Saturday as for the surprise of the NFL season. That's a good call.
That is.
I didn't see that one coming.
And so Saturday actually spoke today, and he's telling the media that he hopes to be back next year. He's hoping for an interview to at least be in contention for the job. No word yet from the Colts brass that they're willing to meet with him over it. So for someone who is supposedly, a best friend of the owner and the guy making the decisions over there, to not have info on your meeting on your future seems a little bit questionable.
There's no way he's getting the job. I mean, he's not.
ESPN has already said they'd be happy to take him back.
That's good.
They literally said it today.
So would we. We'd be happy to have him on the show in a couple of weeks. As a guest.
Sure.
So is he going to start doing those like national shows? Yeah, pump up NFL Live or something. Come on. Then everybody's going to ask him about the whole coaching experience.
Smart. Jeff, what happened?
What happened? Anyway, the question out there I have for you, and jump in on YouTube and Twitter. If the Jags got the ball back with 2.5 minutes to go, would they have tied or won that game? I say yes, and I know most of you guys are going to say no, and you have good reason to say no. I think this is a makeup of the team. They will find a way. This is a team that's finding a way. It's a magical almost run, a Cinderella kind of run. They are the darling of the NFL playoffs right now. Your Jacksonville Jaguars. We're back on Brent and Friends right after this on ESPN 690.
In case you were wondering, Rashean Mathis, big Trevor Lawrence guy.
He rolled out to his left and made a play to Agnew, I believe.
Yes, that's the play.
On the sideline. I was like that's Mahomes, that's Lamar, that's Josh Allen. It's not too many quarterbacks that's going to make that throw. Even scramble like that. Find his way out of the pocket with poise and make that type of throw. Like, that's big-time football.
Hear more from Rashean every Monday at 4 p.m., only on ESPN 690.
Hey folks, now that the kids and grandkids have gone home and the decorations are coming down, I can see that it's time to get my carpets and sofas cleaned. That's where Zero Res comes in. Zero Res can clean the carpets, the sofa, the chairs, the area rugs, and even the tile and grout. Google Zero Res and see what your neighbors are saying with over 5,000 five-star customer reviews. Right now, get 20% off carpet cleaning and 20% off upholstery cleaning. Zero Res spelled forward or backwards, it's the right way to clean.
Start the new year off with worry-free water. Discover how good your water can be with a new Connecticut softener and drinking water system. Connecticut's twin tank, non-electric softeners are the most efficient softeners available, and their drinking water systems remove up to 99% of contaminants. If you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. The experts at CGC Water Treatment will test your water for free and provide solutions that are right for you and your family, like they've done for my family for over 5 years. Imagine having clean, clear, purified water at your home. No more plastic bottles, no more waste, just great tasting, purified water that you can trust. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. That's 904-552-1242. Financing options available with approved credit. CGC Water Treatment are proud partners partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I'm a proud customer of CGC Water Treatment. Your authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1428211.
Hello there. My name is Seychelle, and what makes the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich original to me is the punch of flavors that's unlike any other. You get the crispy tenderness of the chicken and that hint of sourness from the pickles. Ta-da!
Hey, I'm Juan, and what makes the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich original to me is you're going to get chicken that's crispy, golden, and juicy. This is the gold standard of chicken sandwiches.
Order the original Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich on the Chick-fil-A app today. Real customers paid for their testimonials.
The Hoop Collective Podcast.
I'm at our ESPN LA studios. You may remember that Bev did a couple of days of work for ESPN last year.
No, I remember. I was on with him.
He left a gorgeous Dolce & Gabbana suit here that is just spectacular.
You should wear it on TV today, Brian.
I do not believe it will fit me, only because the arms are too long. You're across the street. Come over and get it. It's got to be at least a $7,000 suit.
The Hoop Collective Podcast. Listen on the ESPN app or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Today on Hey Culligan, smooth skin and soft hair comes from where? Here's Mike.
Hey Culligan, I've tried every conditioner, lotion, and body wash known to man, and my skin still feels like sandpaper.
It could be your water, Mike.
Oh, that's harsh.
More like hard water. Are you interested in smart, high-efficiency water softeners from Culligan Water?
Huh?
Want baby smooth skin and soft, luxurious hair?
Yeah, can you hurry? I have a date tonight.
We're already on the way, Mike. Let us help you out with the free in-home water test from a local Culligan water expert at Culligan.com.
Make a New Year's resolution that's easy to keep. Help protect your identity and finances with LifeLock Identity Theft Protection. LifeLock detects identity threats you may miss on your own. And if you become a victim, LifeLock will work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions at all businesses. But LifeLock by Norton makes it easy to help protect yourself. Join now and save up to 25% off your first year. Go to LifeLock.com. Use promo code NEWS.
I'll second guest dinners with friends because they can be interrupted by diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or oily stools. It turns out I have EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, which means I'm missing the enzymes needed to digest food. My doctor prescribed Creon, pancrelipase, an oral prescription medication that replaces pancreatic digestive enzymes. Creon treats EPI due to cystic fibrosis, chronic pancreatitis, pancreatectomy, or other conditions.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall. If you're allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules, as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon.
Creon is the #1 prescribed EPI treatment. Ask your doctor about Creon for EPI and visit creoninfo.com or call 800-633-9110 to learn more. That's CREONinfo.com.
Hey, it's Brent Morton from Action Sports Jacks. Did you know you can watch our radio show? Yeah, video of a radio show. Just search ESPN 690 Jacks on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Or follow me on Twitter at BrentASJacks. Watch the show live weekdays from 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. or listen on ESPN 690.
Brent and Friends is sponsored by Best Bet, now open in St. Augustine.
3 o'clock here, almost 4, in Jacksonville. Brent and Friends on ESPN 690. Brent Martin, Aaron Schachter, Kasey Kurtz, and it's almost like we're still recovering in Jacksonville. I get the sense.
You think so?
Well, because the game wasn't just yesterday. It's weird, right? Because the game's Saturday. We had the post-game show. We talked about it. Everybody's still talking about it. Everybody kind of winds down a little bit.
But
yesterday.
It's the first day everyone gets
to
to talk about it with each other at work.
Yeah, that's true. I wonder what, like, everybody's work production probably isn't going to be good this week.
Probably not.
But that's fun. Like, the fun nature of this is awesome. It's going to build right back up, and we love that. It will be more fun on Saturday night if the offense gets going.
Oh, yeah. Like, if it's an explosive game where they've scored like 14 or 21 in the first half and coming out in the second half, guns blazing, that's going to be a fun one. I don't care what the Chargers are doing.
I sit here today, and I thought about this all day, really, and have felt this way, and this is a Monday feeling. Sometimes it changes as you get closer. I think it's going to be that game.
You think it's going to be a shootout?
I think it's going to be one of those games. You know how, if let's say the Jags aren't in it, but maybe it's Chiefs-Bills, and it might not be as crazy as that with like 17 seconds left going down and scoring and everything that happened last year in the playoffs. But I think it's going to be that kind of game that we have the whole world's talking about it. Like, it's going to be super entertaining, back and forth, last person with the ball wins, some wacky stuff. Like, I have a feeling here on a Monday that this thing definitely goes shootout and gets a little wild and wacky. And get your heartstrings ready because that will challenge you as a fan. But I just have a feeling it's going to be that kind of game. I feel like coming off the game that we just saw, which was more of a plotter, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, come on, somebody make a play.
Like, at some point, we got to start the game, guys.
I think this is going to be an offensively driven game by these two quarterbacks and coordinators and weaponry that they all have. And I think we're going to see the scoreboard light up on Saturday night. Not ready to tell you if the Jags are going to win or the Chargers are going to win. I just think it's going to be a highly entertaining game in prime time. And while we thought that the kind of that moment for Trevor could come out of last week, it really didn't. I don't think he hurt himself last week, but in front of the country. But I think this week we're going to be talking about Herbert and Trevor, regardless of the outcome. I think both are going to get so much love coming out of this game because I think it's going to be that kind of game.
Yeah, I don't necessarily disagree with you. I do think it'll be a big scoring affair. I get a little bit nervous when you talk about some of the weapons on the Chargers that the Jags have previously struggled to defend, whether it be pass-catching backs or a pass-catching tight end. Certainly the corners have had wide receivers on lockdown. You got two serious wide receivers coming to town this weekend in Mike Williams and Keenan Allen, although Mike Williams just hurt himself last night. To what extent, we're not sure yet. We'll find that out later on in the week. Same deal with, I believe, Joey Bosa, who re-hurt himself again last night. We'll find out to what extent later this week. But that's a serious offense now, not just running the ball or throwing to one or two receivers. That man has 4 or 5 options on that team.
What's your early gut on this, Kasey? You signed up with me?
Nope. Oh. Somebody getting blown out. I just don't know who.
Oh, boy. That does happen in the postseason.
Somebody getting blown out.
But it's not like a once-in-a-blue-moon type of thing.
Somebody getting blown out.
Really?
Yeah, I'm just not sure who.
That makes me nervous.
It does, but it also it's kind of the feeling I have, right? I think if it's the Jags blowing out the Chargers, I think we're gonna look. Yeah, it's actually ideal. We're gonna look back at it and say, you know what? The offense had struggled; it was building, and the defense they stayed their course. And if the Chargers are the team that's doing the blowing out, you'd be like, you know what? I could see it. We didn't know if the Jags defense was really legit. Was it really bad offenses? We don't know. And if Herbert dropped like 500 on it, you'd be like, you know what? Yeah, Herbert. I get it.
But look, the Chargers defense is not the Titans defense. This is a defense susceptible to big plays.
Right.
It's a defense that gives up points.
It does.
As far as their ranks go, it's kind of middle of the road. So, I mean, yeah, if you're looking for a barn burner, here's a good candidate.
Travis Etienne is okay, it sounds like, although there's a bit of a mystery around what looked off the Travis Etienne, but it doesn't look like he's going to end up on the injury report.
That's great.
And he's going to be okay.
Fantastic.
So that's a very good sign, and you can utilize it's a fantastic matchup. Eckler is on a different level than Etienne,
sure,
but Etienne can do some of the things that Eckler does, probably runs better than him, or at least they utilize him more in the run game.
He looks faster than Eckler.
And then you've got weaponry all over the place. I will tell you, the reason I believe this is because I think the Jags offense is going to come to play Saturday night. And that's why I don't know if I agree blowout-wise, because I think the Chargers are good on offense. I don't care the Chargers can score against anybody. I don't care maybe not San Francisco. So this isn't like, hey, the Jags defense stinks because they gave up 30 points to the Chargers. Now, I think a lot of people give up 30 points to the Chargers when they are healthy and their offense is in rhythm. That's why I think this is going to be a shootout game. I would be highly disappointed if the Jags close the year, given all the things they did with the development of the quarterback, Trevor's big step, all these milestone yards, if they finish both games at home with a poor performance on offense. I don't see it happening. I think this is going to be a big-time performance by really both offenses, and that's why I feel like it's going to be a shootout. Again, this is a Monday feeling, but I don't think my feeling's going to change about the Jags offense. I think their offense is going to go to work and practice this week. I think those guys are true pros. Some of the best pros that we've talked about on this roster in that locker room are on the offensive side. Kirk, Ingram, right? Sheriff. Like, those guys are going to come in more focused and dialed in and like, we got to be better than that. They were disappointed. I mean, I saw Kirk in the locker room, Ingram in the locker room. I mean, they were extremely happy.
Sure.
But they were also disappointed in their performance overall from an offense. I think they come in with a chip on their shoulder this week, and that doesn't mean they win, but I think it's going to be an excellent performance.
We'll see.
This is definitely a team you can run on, too, to the point about Etienne not being on the injury report. Brandon Sheriff maybe looking to step up his game this week. The run offense is really where the offensive line needs to step up from last week's performance for sure. And the Chargers are really not great with run defense. So you have an opportunity here to really own the ground game and possibly time of possession, which, really when you talk about keeping Herbert and Williams and Keenan Allen off the field, no better way to do it than hold on that ball for 36 minutes.
That's another thing I thought of this morning. I said this today on Monday Morning Madness. I was like, I think the Jags have to get back to those long drives to help their defense out in this game. Again, the defense has been great. Mm-hmm. But the defense is not San Fran's defense where you're relying on it to be great week in, week out. You really don't want
to have to, yeah.
And the reason that I agree with you there on why they need to hold the ball, go Google, if you're not familiar with this throw, Justin Herbert fourth quarter throw Titans that he made this year.
Oh, yeah, it was sensational.
That's it.
Yeah.
Casey's just anxiety porn all over YouTube watching Herbert highlights, freaking himself out all week.
Hey, Rashean Mathis joins us to talk about that defense when we come back. Brent and Friends on ESPN 690 here on a victorious Monday for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Playoff bound. They'll play in prime time Saturday night here in Jacksonville against the LA Chargers.
Forever Vets Pet Resort at Durbin is officially open. Whether you're looking to board your pet during a vacation or looking for a place for them to play during the day, look no further. Forever Vets Pet Resort has officially opened its doors. With roomy, climate-controlled indoor play areas for big and small dogs, shaded outdoor play areas with a splash zone, and private cat condos including access to a cat tree-filled oasis, your pet will feel right at home. Forever Vets Pet Resort will provide a comfortable place for your pets while you're away and ensure your four-legged friend is safe and happy during their stay. Take advantage of a free day of play to all new clients. And if you purchase one night of boarding, you'll receive half off your next night. Want to learn more? Give us a call or go to forevervets.com. You can also stop by for a free facility tour. We're open 7 days a week with extended hours for your convenience. Forever Vets Pet Resort at Durbin is now open for reservations.
You're invited to shop at the White Harvest Farms and Farmers Market every Saturday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. It's a market of fresh and affordable farm-to-table produce that comes from a 10.5-acre urban located at 4850 Moncrief Road. There's volunteering, classes, and farming demonstrations. Also, if you're interested in becoming a vendor or volunteer, call 904-354-4162 or visit the White Harvest Farms Eventbrite page. White Harvest Farms wants to be your favorite produce market. This initiative benefits the Clara White Mission.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're starting to speak another language, like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
Babbel.
Babbel. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Breaking news. Doctors who've treated Bill Safety Damar Hamlin said he is being transferred to a hospital in Buffalo to resume his recovery. Another sign of the remarkable progress he's made 1 week after going into cardiac arrest during a game. Two major shakeups for the Cardinals. The team fired Coach Cliff Kingsbury. Arizona went 28-37-1 with just one playoff appearance in his 4 seasons. He signed an extension through the 2027 season, so Kingsbury does walk away with more than $30 million. In addition, GM Steve Kimes decided to step away from his position to focus on his health. The focal point for Arizona's next coach and GM, quarterback Kyler Murray, explains ESPN's Louis Riddick.
What do we really need to do as far as building a relationship with him, understanding his strengths and weaknesses both as a player and as a person? How do we maximize those strengths? How do we get the most out of him individually? How do we get the most out of him in a collective sense as far as him being a leader? How do we help him grow into a leader?
Louis Riddick on Fitz and Harry. College football season comes down to this. Georgia TCU in the national title game. 6:30 Eastern ESPN Radio, 7:30 Eastern ESPN TV.
Do you own or rent your home?
Sure you do. Fortunately, Geico makes it easy to bundle your home and car insurance. It's a good thing, too, because having a home is hard work. Go to geico.com, get a quote, and see how much you could save. Geico.com. Easy.
ESPN 690 and Action Sports Jacks presents Brent and Friends with Brent Martineau.
We're going to have to show a little more patience than the year 2 pom-pom people.
Casey Kurtz.
Yo! Well, what are we doing, bro? Come on!
And Aaron Schachter.
I'm all in favor of these two showing their love, really celebrating their relationship.
Get him! Get him! Hit him! Hit him! Hit him! Yeah! Boom! Jack! Boom! Yeah! Boom! Jack! Boom!
This is Brent and Friends with Brent Martineau, Casey Kurtz, and Aaron Schachter on Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. ESPN 690.
Hey, welcome back, everybody, to a 4 o'clock hour here on a Monday. We've got expanded coverage all week long to tell you about. You know, they do that Monday Morning Madness, 8 a.m. until 10 a.m. That's been really fun all season.
They
do be doing it. Yeah.
I was kind of like, I was kind of hoping you guys that slipped by.
Oh.
It was like, I was trying to say, like, it was almost the way. I was trying to say we and they at the same like,
I did a couple of those over the last couple of days, especially Saturday night. My brain was like half awake.
Like, I'm a big believer in just keep going and see if they miss it.
Oh, yeah. That's professional broadcasting in general.
It is.
But I'm no professional, boys. I caught it.
This morning,
you guys both caught it, so it was really sounding like.
This morning on the Eagle, I was talking about how great it is on a Victory Monday. Everything, food tastes better. I said music tastes better. And I stopped myself and I was like, does music taste? It does today. All right.
It's a good time in Jack. What a way to start 2023.
Yeah, man. Great start to the year.
It's a great start to 2023. But anyway, we'll have expanded Morning Madness shows, 8 a.m. until 10 a.m. all week long. We appreciate Fields Auto Group for their continued support of that show so we can bring you more Jags coverage each and every morning. And then even on the TV side, we're really ramping up. We'll share it with you, but we're going to have half-hour shows all week long. Tonight is Jags Report live at Sneakers in Jax Beach. Andre Sisco will be there. Tuesday, Wednesday, we do Chase for the Championship on Fox 30. Also Thursday, we have Jaguars All Access, Josh Allen, and to-be-determined guests. And then Friday, we do another 1 hour, 7 p.m. until 8 p.m. That one on CBS 47. So we've got you covered here on Action Sports Jacks on TV and on the radio, and somebody might tweet enough to keep you involved on social media.
Oh, good news.
And it's not Rashean Mathis. Rashean Mathis, though, does join us each and every Monday for Mondays with Mathis. And, well, you wanted to play in the game, Rashean Mathis. You must have cheered real hard. Maybe you can play in this one.
What's going on, fellas? Yeah, it's a good Monday. Definitely a good Monday. Great way to start the year, as y'all mentioned.
What was your feelings in that game as it got late? We know what the games look like sometimes. We all feel that. We've seen enough football to know. As you're watching, because it probably is different as a player. As a player, you're probably like, all right, we got this. We just got to make a play. You're in the moment. But watching that thing unravel, you're like, oh, man, they missed too many opportunities. They left points on the board, the fumble and the trick play, the miss to Zay Jones. And that now they're being stymied on offense. It did not feel good with a few minutes to go, Rashean.
Yeah, it didn't feel good as a fan, but I kind of stay in that player perspective and understand that clock management, understanding how much time is still left on the clock, and understanding the offensive threats that you're going up against as a defense, and understanding how our defense was containing Derrick Henry. And that was big for us. So not letting him break away any big plays, and we kept hitting him in the backfield. So I liked our chances at the end of the game. It was ugly, but the good teams find ways to win those ugly games. So it was big.
What kind of pride for you as a former player, seeing that crowd the way it was, feeling it in your hometown city, and the Jags getting the win to beat the Titans?
I was just jealous that I wasn't a part of it on the field. Like it's nothing like that energy that 12th man brings. Like it's an amazing feeling. So ecstatic for the guys that got to experience it, especially some guys that have been here for a while who haven't experienced a crowd like that. And it's just a different type of energy and a different type of love that you see from your hometown crowd.
Rashean, were you seeing anything chronic as you watched the defense on Saturday night that you're like, man, if we make it past the Titans, this is something we really need to lock up immediately?
Well, if you don't allow teams to establish a really pounding run game, it always can turn out well for you. So treat every team like that, right? But at the same time, there's going to be different teams with different weapons where you can't just load the box, and teams are going to have a little more productive receivers. The Tennessee Titans didn't have it, so we didn't really have to worry about them beating us in the air. So it's pros and cons to everything, but we did what we needed to do to win that game. So that was the biggest thing. If we were lining up 9 in the box and couldn't stop the run, then it would have been a problem. And we were able to stop the run and get pressure when we needed to get a push when we were able to get pressure when we needed a push and get pressure when we needed pressure. So it was some really good things.
You mentioned the receivers, but a team like the Chargers are more dangerous than just Mike Williams and Keenan Allen. We talk about Gerald Everett at tight end, Austin Eckler out of the backfield. So many options on that team. What is Caldwell telling the defense this week? How do you even prep for something like that where literally every pass catcher who is going to be on the field is a threat?
We've been there before, right? It's not the first time we've seen them. It's not the first game we played where we had threats. We're going to have threats all over. Just do your job. Execute your assignment. And if we execute our assignment, if you execute your individual assignment, we'll like where we stand collectively. So that's it. Just encouraging the guys, not putting fear in them, getting the guys that with experience, playoff experience, and talking to these young guys and understanding that it's going to be a surge, it's going to be an energy that we're going to have to withstand, and just stay calm and stay collected.
Rashean Mathis with us here on Brent and Friends on ESPN 690. Mathis on Mondays. Jags coming off the big win over the Titans. And I want to get back to some of the Titans stuff in a moment, but I'm going to stay with what Aaron was talking about here because I thought about this morning too. I'm like, how are they going to play them? This is a different defense right now than the Jags had in game 3 of this season. I mean, they've got guys in different places, and it's working, Rashean. But I also feel like this might be one of those games, like if you were dialing it up in a game plan, isn't this keep everything in front of you and maybe bend is okay, but don't break, force field goals type of thing?
It definitely is. But at the same time, you have to kind of rely on your offense to get some points on the board as well, because this is a team that can put up numbers being that they do have threats. But that being in break mentality is a week in and week out mentality. You're going to understand that these guys on the other side of the ball, they're getting paid to make plays as well. So there are going to be plays being made, but withstand that energy, withstand that surge, and just keep plugging. And if you eliminate the deep threat in that long ball, we'll have a chance at the end of the game. Not giving up explosive plays on the run game or the passing game.
Yeah, I agree with you, by the way, too. I think this is on the offense to keep pace, to maybe dictate, set the tone. I thought they had the chance to do that last week, and they missed some of those opportunities against Tennessee where they could have forced them to play catch-up, and they did not. What's your sense of kind of like a magical run right now? Some people have used the word like team of destiny and stuff like that, but just we know in sports – we watched George Mason make the Final Four, right? You're like, wow, man, that was wild. Like, there was just some things in sports that it just feels a little out of context. You couldn't see it coming.
Even the Phillies winning the World Series.
Yeah, Phillies actually did. The way they came out of there. I mean, what were they? They didn't even win the East, or they lost the East by 12 games or something like
third,
that? Yeah, they were third. So we see it in sports, Rashean. Doesn't this Jags team have a little bit of that feel like they're going to find a way, and they might actually be dangerous now in terms of going on a run, this Cinderella run?
You hit it on the head. I agree. It's two teams that have that. Is my former two teams actually, Jaguars and Detroit.
Yeah.
One of them are going to go on a run. One of them are going to go on a tear. I wanted to be Jacksonville. So let's find it. That leader on the team, like y'all mentioned, the Phillies, Bryce Harper, he stepped up. So, Trevor, we're going to need you. We're going to need you to step up and be that playmaker and make those throws, because you can't miss. He can't miss like he missed this Sunday, right? So those are the throws, those are the plays that we're going to need him to hit come playoff time. So it's going to be big for us.
All right, let's go back to that. I want to go to that play. I want to talk more about Trevor in that play, because to be honest with you, Rashean, I thought Trevor was playing good football. He was 17 of 21 before that play. He had actually had a couple of drops on him. So 4 incompletions, 2 drops, and they obviously had the missed trick play that really screwed up that possession.
Sure.
But I thought he was slinging it. He wasn't throwing high. He wasn't inaccurate. I thought he was feeling really good in a big moment on the big stage in his biggest NFL career. And then he throws this ball out of bounds by 4 yards. on a late breaking open Zay Jones in the end zone who ends up, to everybody's eyes, wide open. Do you have any idea, like, what happened? Because I'm trying to figure out the why. Like, I feel like maybe he saw a lot of traffic from his vantage point and could never tell Zay was that wide open. That's the excuse I'm giving Trevor Lawrence on that play.
Well, he's not perfect, so he's not Jesus and cleats. But at the same time,
same hair though.
It was him trying not to make a mistake instead of relying on his ability. Right? You give him that play 9, 10. He's going to make that throw 99.9% of the time. It's just him trying not to. He already had the little fumble snap or little fumble pitch, and it's him trying not to make a mistake instead of relying on his ability to make the play. And when we get into that, you're kind of in that no man's land and you're not yourself. And that's why the ball sailed on him. Because, he could have, if he seen that open up, he could close his eyes and make that throw.
There were a couple of these plays that I thought were questionable like that, where the ball was thrown either high or wide or out of bounds, but it didn't need to. And I just kept thinking about earlier in the year when he wasn't doing that, when he was sailing balls, throwing interceptions, turning the ball over. And it just feels so much easier to have to explain away an incomplete pass than a turnover in a playoff-like game against the Titans.
And I think that's what it was. It was a big-time game, and he didn't want to hurt the team and make them lose.
I mean, we were begging for that earlier this year, yeah.
Yes, exactly. He's gotten a lot of flack from it, so he was trying not to do anything to make his team lose. So if I sell this ball, at least they don't intercept it and we get a field goal, right?
I agree with that. I think it was all right there. I've looked at the play from behind him, the TV replay. I do feel like there was a lot of traffic there, but through all of it, he probably still knows where Zay's going. So, like, it's an empty excuse on my part. But the other part of it is exactly what you said. Because 2 plays earlier to Marvin Jones, he was kind of trapped in the corner, and he threw it 3 yards out of bounds. Because to your point, Rashean, he wants at least 3 points. This was a slugfest game. You have to get points. You can't turn it over in a scoring area like you did in the first half on the trick play. So, I think you're right on. The question is, that was a high leverage game for this organization. Do you think he plays free and more willing to make a mistake now in the playoffs with the Jags being like all gravy and underdogs and let's just go loose and free and shock the world?
I think that's a good mentality to have, but I think it's going to be tough because you are in a team environment and you're not out there solo and you have people depending on you. So he has to get the experience to get there. And, when has he ever been in a big game like that, right, in his NFL career? Like, you can say what you want about his college career, but the NFL is a different monster. So he hasn't been under pressure in games like that. He hasn't had those opportunities. So he'll learn from it. He's a baller. Like, so this is not us knocking Trevor. This is just seeing his mentality and where does he go from here. He's a baller. He's a franchise player. He's the face of the franchise. So I'm not worried about it. We just, I'm sure Doug and everyone is in his ear about, you make that play, leave that alone. Let's go win this game, right? Like, so, and he's doing that to himself as well. So he'll be okay.
I think, by the way, Rashean Mathis with us, Mathis on Mondays, Brent Friends on ESPN 690. I watched a TV replay back, and again, I don't do this all the time. And I saw like 2.5 quarters of it, up until the Zay Jones part, really. And I think it was in that possession. I think it was when they were hurrying up to the line. I don't know if you guys remember this, but he has a great throw to Marvin Jones before they hurry up to the line at the 11-yard line, and then he throws incomplete to Marvin, who was double-teamed in the end zone. So that's the sequence I'm talking about. But as they're trying to go back and watch this play, as they're trying to line up and go fast, I don't know why they went tempo there, but they decided to go tempo because they didn't have to try to hide a almost catch. It was a clear catch and a good play by Marvin to get down to the 11. But the officials, they must have substituted Rashean because the officials are holding play up. And so they're waiting and waiting. You know how they stand over the ball? And you can
I know exactly what you're saying.
And you can see Trevor. He's like, get the hell out of my way. He's like, get out of here. And to me, that showed, I'm glad you saw that because I saw that on the replay and I'm like, to me, Rashean, that shows confidence. That shows swagger. That shows man, he's starting to tell officials what to do.
it was two of them. One was on the ball, the other one was to his right, and he was talking to the one to the right, like, listen, move, get up out of the way. Let us run this play. We see something here.
And so I caught that. Now, I just feel like that has, you know what, when people start questioning this kid if he had the dog in him.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah, people were wondering if he was a fierce competitor.
Yeah. And Rashean, you see it because you know what this means. But when, let's say, I don't know if it's Travis Etienne. Oh, I think it was Zay Jones. Zay Jones early on, he trips. They don't get the first down. First guy over to him and grabs his helmet and taps him on the helmet, it's Trevor. And then you could see after they missed the play in the end zone, they're like on the sideline talking it over. But it's not panic, it's leadership. Like you can actually see the leadership from Trevor Lawrence. I think the confidence that he talks about that he's found, like he is now him. He is who he thinks he is. And I think that even with missed throws and missed plays, like he is that guy, Rashean, and I think that's why he probably steps up this week on a stage against the Chargers, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think people was questioning his dog because he stays poised and calm in tough situations. And, you know, I talk to my son, who's only 10, every day about his emotions on up and down with making plays. You can't show them. Like, you can have them, but to express them and allow everyone to see him as a different monster, and he doesn't do it. So I think that's why he got questioned a lot. I love his poise. I love his attitude. I love his demeanor. I love how he relates to his players, how he relates to his teammates. Everything about it says that I'm a big-time player, and he has the tools and the talent. So I love everything about the kid.
You know, we talk about the poise, the composure, but Rashean, have you been on teams that had like a profile of panic, or is it more just about how the coach acts, how the coaching staff acts, that kind of lends itself to how the team behaves? Like, what part of the team, where does that panic come from? Because you look at this Jaguars team, and it's like, not only is Trevor poised and composed, it seems like the entire team doesn't really have panic in them. They'll go down 13-3 or 17-10 going to halftime and just come back like they have the lead and start scoring like it's their business.
Yes, that's a great question. I think it's you have coaches that, you know, wear their emotions on their sleeve. Jack was one of those guys. So it was us as leaders to, you know, when things get crazy, to make sure whoever missed a play or didn't make a play, go to us as leaders to go to that player and calm him down, because you never really knew what he was going to get from Jack.
Yeah, Jack wasn't going to be able to do it. I understand.
Yeah, so
right.
and those are different coaches, right?
Yeah.
Jim Caldwell up in Detroit, like he was walking a day at the park, walking.
He does. Sometimes that man doesn't even look like he has a heartbeat going. He's just
right. Exactly. And you know, but when things are going good, he shows emotions a little. And I think Doug does the same thing. But when things aren't good, you're not going to see it on Doug's face that they aren't good.
No.
It's him he understands that everyone is looking at his expressions and everyone is trying to see his temperament. And I think Trevor has, I don't know if he had it in college, but he definitely has it now, that attitude where, okay, my guys are watching me. I need to let them know that we still have a chance. And I think, and Shad Cotton, he actually talked about it post game.
Yeah.
Like, we've been here before, we've been down before, and I trusted our guys. So that attitude is all around the organization. So it's great to see that they found something.
Rashean Mathis with us. Mathis on Mondays, talking about the Jags win over Tennessee and looking ahead to the Chargers game, of course. Take us through the defensive play. 2:51 to go. They call, obviously, the blitz with Rashean, and Dobbs doesn't see it. Are they taking advantage of a quarterback that hasn't played a lot of football? Is that hard for any quarterback? And what do you see from the defensive call there that made that work?
He didn't show his hand early. Jenkins didn't show his hand early, so I'm going to give Caldwell credit for dialing up the right play, right? Like, we've been kind of questioning this defensive calling all year, what he's going to do, how he's going to adjust to all the things, and I think he's adjusted well. And so you have to give the defensive coordinator a nod that he did make the right call, but also Jenkins not showing his hand early, because he came free late.
Yeah.
You know, and if he was up on that line of scrimmage, they could have changed the protection, and that would have never happened. So great job by Jenkins, being a player that he's been all year. and executing that play and actually going for the ball and not just going for a sack, right? So there's a lot of great things that happen on that play. Coverage late, like coverage early in the down as well. Like, didn't allow him to see anybody open early, and he had to hold the ball a little longer, and we got there. So it was very well executed all the way around.
Rashawn Jenkins, one of many who was in that backfield all night. Arden Key, another name who was really putting on a masterclass on that front line. 35% win rate on his pass rush. Out of 20 passing snaps, 7 hurries. Arden Key was in this man Josh Dobbs' face all night. Talk about how much that helps the secondary, who, by the way, has been on fire for the last couple of games.
Yeah, been on fire, and we've also talked about the pass rush the last couple of games too, right? So it works hand in hand, right? So with pressure comes good defense behind it. So if you're letting the quarterback, any quarterback in this league, if you're just letting them sit there and pat that baby to sleep, it's going to be bad things when he lets it go, because he's going to find a window. So the pressure was awesome. I know Trayvon picked up the fumble, but he also played very well as well on the defensive line. So I just think they're a cohesive group right now that's playing well together, and we just need them to continue because it's going to be needed as we advance.
Yeah, that's a good call. Like, I thought Trayvon played really well in this game. I thought he was dominant at times. Arden Key was sensational. And then you throw Josh Allen in, who has the scoop and score game-winning touchdown. And he has really been building this last month, Rashean. He's a guy that gets criticized, 7th overall pick, 5th-year option. I've argued in the past they should extend him. He hasn't played. The numbers don't show that they should extend him the way I've even talked about it. But what does it say that he has turned it on to the degree he's turned it on the last few weeks when it's crunch time, and then he was able to in a big-time game under the lights on Saturday? What does that say, do you think, about Josh Allen as a football player in the National Football League?
It says that he's steady, right? Like, he didn't let his shaky start or up and down season get to him as much. So it says a lot about him as a player, as an individual, his mental state, because there's been a lot of talk around him, like you just mentioned. So for him to keep poised and just keep plugging, he has to have some good coaching and some good guys around him to allow him to understand what type of player he is. So, did he earn more money? Maybe not, but we'll be crazy to get rid of him. Right, like, I'm not saying that he's going to break the bank, because I don't know if he had that type of year, but he's definitely a player that we should keep around here because his potential and his upside is still there. And I love him as an athlete and as a player.
Yeah, what's interesting about him, Rashean, and I want to get your thoughts on this. The highs of highs, right? You win the division. You've turned it around. You're a part of it. You go on this magical run to finish. And I talked to Josh Allen right after the game, and I was like, I don't even know if I could get him to smile. He was so still matter of fact about everything. Like, what's happening in the moment? You've been a part of big games. Like, some of these guys were, like, out of their minds, but other guys celebrate or at least digest it and soak it in differently. Is there a time, like, right after the game sometimes that players can't even, like, really wrap their arms around everything that just happened?
Yeah, and I think everyone is in a different state, right? Like, he's in a different position in his career where he understands what's coming next. And, and he knows that he needs to finish strong. And, every play matters with him right now, right? Like, so his future and everything is in the palm of his hand, and he controls it. So, there's a lot of things that's going through athletes' head that, you can't really put a finger on, or you can't really, you don't understand why they're reacting the way they're reacting. But he has a lot on his mind. Like, he understands who he is as an athlete, but he also understands what he needs to do to help his team win, and what he needs to do to help his team win will help him individually as a player moving forward as an athlete in the NFL.
Rashean Mathis with us. Mathis on Mondays on ESPN 690. We'll keep you a few more minutes and let you run here on a Monday where the Jags get the win. I think we asked you this when they played the Chargers the first time around. Mike Williams, Keenan Allen. Now, Allen didn't play. Williams did play in that game. Remember, there was a beat-up Herbert at the time with a rib injury.
Rashawn Slater out of the game at left tackle. Yeah.
Those guys, this is a different deal.
I think Bosa was out.
Bosa ended up going out in the game early, I believe it was.
Right.
So, I mean, this is different. This is months later. This might as well be seasons later. But as a cornerback, and our cornerback here on ESPN 690, Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, I feel like this is a really challenging matchup, not only because they are good, but because those guys are big, Rashean.
Yes, they're very big. They're strong. They're physical. You name it, they're what you want in a receiver. So, you know, I know we've talked about we have a stud on one side of the field, a young stud on one side of the field. We need him to show up, right? Like, so this is the time where, you know, you have to put a little pressure on your guys who are playing well in order to win these type of ball games. So safety lean, put pressure on the young stud, and he has to earn his keep because we're going to need help somewhere else. And this is when we need it. We need you to play your best. You know, I'm getting chills just talking about it because I understand these type of games. I've been in them. I've had to match up with main guys in different situations, and this is when you want your number to be called. Like this is when you make your money, and that's what it's all going to be boiled down to.
It's certainly a big time offense. You got big time receivers, a big time running back, certainly a big time quarterback. But what was shocking to me when I looked at the Chargers season, and it's been well reported on the injuries and everything else. Who did the Chargers win against this year? Let me read you the list of these teams, Brent. You might be surprised. They beat the Raiders week 1. They beat the Texans. Then they beat the Browns. Then they beat the Broncos. Then they beat the Falcons, the Cardinals, the Dolphins with a bad Tua. At least it was Tua, though. The Titans, the Colts, and the Rams. Those are all of their wins this year.
One winning team.
Like, that is not an impressive resume based on who their losses are. They lost to the Chiefs. They lost to the Jags, the Seahawks, the Niners, the Chiefs again, the Raiders they split with, and then they split with the Broncos. Like, find me an impressive win. It doesn't exist for them this year.
Yeah, but they did battle a lot of injuries. I'm more impressed with them because they usually find ways to get out of the playoffs even when they're good.
Like play themselves out.
Yeah. And so they're a team you don't trust because wacky things happen to the Chargers.
Yeah.
Like Jags have that going for them while they've got a Cinderella run going. You never know what's going on with the Chargers. I didn't see that, though. I did not realize that they had.
Neither had I.
All those teams that you just mentioned don't have a winning record except I think one of them, but might have. I think one of them.
The Dolphins.
The Dolphins, yeah. And barely, by the way. Yeah. So that's fascinating. All right, before I let you go, I love what you just said about you're getting chills just thinking about the matchup. I like when he can get you, like, I feel like we can get you out of retirement if we keep talking to you.
It's getting close.
During
it
these
feels
playoffs.
like every week, yeah.
Until the first run play comes my way and he breaks for 15 yards, and I realize that I got to go head on head with Derrick Henry or somebody.
I thought it would be
then
a little.
Then it puts me back in perspective. Like, okay, my body is 42 years old. I'm not built to do this anymore.
You feel all of that age on the first hit. I thought it would be a little more scientific. Like a contractor gets back to you and says, "Oh, this D-Bats budget just got blown out of the water." Suddenly, Rashean is out at the workout room trying to convince Doug to let him in.
No way, D-Bats.
You got to condition your mind for that type of contact. It's been over 5 years, so I don't know if I can do it. It's like moving from. I've been out of the snow for 5 years. I'm not going back.
Good point. I mean, me either, man. D-Bats, by the way, on its way in May. Got to look out for it down in St. Augustine near Palencia as Rashean heads into the business venture and his love of baseball, too, as he coaches and helps tutor and mentor a lot of folks in this area who love the sport of baseball as well. Coming up, D-Bats in May. But you when you say that you get the chills and you say you welcome the matchup, I remember Jalen Ramsey telling us this at times. I always was kind of intrigued by it, how he took notes on guys, notes on players. Mm-hmm. And so Tyson Campbell plays Mike Williams early in the year. And I would imagine all corners take notes. How much do you think he's going back into those notes, that tape, what he jotted down potentially to help him in this matchup this time around, even if he's not matched up with Mike Williams all the time?
Well, you tap into them a little, but you also understand that they are taking notes as well, and it's going to be a different scheme. But there are some individual things that you learn from yourself, the things that you did well, the things that you need to do better. So the things that you did well, you don't really, pay too much attention of. But the little things that he got you on, or the little plays that he almost made, or when your feet weren't as good as they needed to be, those are the things you go back and you take notes on. But I always say, as a cornerback, you need a couple triggers, you need a couple bullets in your chamber, and make sure when it's time to shoot your shot, you shoot it, because you're going to have opportunities. You're going to have opportunities playing against guys like this. The quarterbacks trust them, so they trust their receiver to be in certain spots. So beat them to that spot. So all it takes is one or two plays to change the game, and you just make sure you're there when your number is called.
That's a really good call. You're right. They are going to throw their way. This isn't like Tyson hasn't established himself as the shutdown guy where they're not going to throw it his
Even
way.
if he had, you have to throw to Mike Williams and Keenan Allen. If you're the
those are your
Chargers.
guys.
Yes.
That's a great point. All right, let me finish with this one, because you mentioned scheme in there, and I want to go a little deeper on it. This team, with the buttons Mike Caldwell has pushed that we've talked about so much over the last month, from Darius Williams kicking out to the rotation of Lloyd and Muma to hand in the dirt for Trayvon, all those things. How different is this defense than it was back in week 3? Almost schematically. Forget about how guys are playing and who's hurt or not, but schematically, is it a different look for Herbert and the Chargers?
Oh, it definitely is. They can't look at that film and get a read on us. Just like we pretty much can't look at that film and get a read on them, because they had injuries as well. So all opponents, everybody who you play, all of that stuff is out the window. We're going to have to line up and match up against them. It's going to be new looks, new guys running routes. And the same for us. It's going to be new looks, new guys in different positions. So it's going to be a dogfight. It's going to be fun to see us making adjustments and them trying to make adjustments as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how we handle it.
All right, man. Well, we appreciate you taking the time here today and talking about another Jags win. Mathis on Mondays. Rashean, this was the final week of the regular season. This was supposed to be it. We get a little overtime. We got to work you a little extra. You got to come back on next week.
I'm down for it, baby. I'm down for it. So it's no better feeling. No better feeling. So I'm glad to be a part of it.
I love your insight, man. Appreciate it. And we'll talk to you next week.
All right. You guys have a great week.
That is Rashean Mathis on Mondays. And, man, so cool to listen to him talk and break it down. And I love the feel. He's a pretty calm level guy.
Yeah.
But twice now in the last week, we've had him on.
Super excited.
And he's so excited about this run for the Jags. I really appreciate that from the former Jags players.
We got to get him in here to feel some of that excitement in the studio if they keep winning.
Yeah, we will do that. We can definitely do it. We got to take a break. We're way against it. So let's take a break. Brent and Friends on ESPN 690. More Jags talk. There's a lot going on around the NFL, too. I do want to talk about some of the things. We'll have some tweets that – from hirings and firings quickly this year to pushing athletic trainers on the field.
What is happening over there?
To is Aaron Rodgers done in Green Bay? There's a lot going on in the NFL. Let's talk about some of it when we come back on ESPN 690.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Partly to mostly sunny skies and mild temperatures on this Monday with daytime highs in the upper 60s to low 70s. Skies will clear tonight and it gets chilly again. We are near freezing though, low down to 43 in Jacksonville, and still mostly sunny on Tuesday and still pleasant, high 70 degrees. From the Action News Jax First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Corey Summa.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds. Before you buy a diamond anywhere, shop Beard's Diamonds.
We're dealing at Best Bet St. Augustine, the only card room and sports bar in St. Augustine, Florida. With nonstop action, poker games of all limits, exciting tournaments and table games, and a sports bar showing all the action, Best Bet St. Augustine has you covered. Don't miss our delicious dining options, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and our always popular freshly made sushi. Best Bet St. Augustine is located at 800 Marketplace Drive off exit 311, where I-95 and State Road 207 meet. Learn more at bestbetjacks.com.
Start the new year off with worry-free water. Discover how good your water can be with a new Connecticut softener and drinking water system. Connecticut's twin tank, non-electric softeners are the most efficient softeners available, and their drinking water systems remove up to 99% of contaminants. If you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. The experts at CGC Water Treatment will test your water for free and provide solutions that are right for you and your family, like they've done for my family for over 5 years. Imagine having clean, clear, purified water at your home. No more plastic bottles, no more waste, just great tasting, purified water that you can trust. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. That's 904-552-1242. Financing options available with approved credit. CGC Water Treatment are proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I'm a proud customer of CGC Water Treatment. Your authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1428211.
Anybody can win at Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino Tampa. One jackpot is paid out every minute on the hottest slot machines and table games. With over $2 billion in jackpots paid out in the last year, you could be the next lucky winner. Seminole Hard Rock Tampa has over 800 rooms and suites, a luxurious rock spa and salon, award-winning restaurants, and an exciting comedy and concert lineup, including pool parties with world-renowned artists. With a variety of gaming, dining, and entertainment options, anybody can win at Seminole Hard Rock Tampa.
Ask yourself, how often do you go to the second page for the answer to something you are looking for when searching on Google? I asked 10 people and 1 out of 10 said rarely, while the other 9 said never. Websites that are stuck on page 2 or farther never get the attention or web traffic they deserve. Cox Media Group can fix that ranking by making sure that your business is the answer to the questions most people are asking. It's Cox Media Group's mission to help make sure that your business is seen as the trusted expert in your field. Head to cmg.com to find out more, and we'll reach out to you with the next steps.
Hey folks, now that the kids and grandkids have gone home and the decorations are coming down, I can see that it's time to get my carpets and sofas cleaned. That's where Zero Res comes in. Zero Res can clean the carpets, the sofa, the chairs, the area rugs, and even the tile and grout. Google Zero Res and see what your neighbors are saying with over 5,000 5-star customer reviews. Right now, get 20% off carpet cleaning and 20% off upholstery cleaning. Zero Res spelled forward or backwards, it's the right way to clean.
Buying or leasing a car in Jacksonville is the best with Fields Auto Group, Jacksonville's luxury auto group. Lexus of Jacksonville and Orange Park, Mercedes-Benz of Jacksonville, Orange Park, Jaguar Land Rover, Jacksonville, Porsche, Jacksonville, Fields Cadillac, Jacksonville, and St. Augustine. If the luxury car you want isn't in stock, Fields Auto Group will order it. And at Fields, you'll never be charged over sticker price. Stop by a Fields store today and see what world-class service really means. Fields is a proud sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Fields Auto Group, fieldsauto.com.
As a Walgreens pharmacist, I talk with people all the time about little tips and tricks for filling their Medicare prescriptions, like taking advantage of Walgreens 90-day refills to save them a trip, or using Refill by Scan, which is super easy and right on your phone. And for anybody worried about prescription costs, I say, hey, we got you, with low-cost copays on many medications.
Let's talk about making things easier. Walgreens is here. Fill your way and save at walgreens.com/Medicare. See pharmacists for restrictions and exclusions.
Science proves quality sleep is vital to your mental, emotional, and physical health. The Sleep Number 360 smart bed senses your movements and automatically adjusts to help keep you both effortlessly comfortable. And it's temperature balancing, so you stay cool. So you're at your best for yourself and those you care about most. Life-changing sleep, only from Sleep Number. The Queen Sleep Number 360 C2 smart bed is only $899. Save $200, plus free home delivery when you add an adjustable base. Ends Monday. To learn more, go to sleepnumber.com.
Action Sports Jacks. Watch, listen, subscribe. You can watch us on CBS 47 and Fox 30. You can listen right here on ESPN 690. And you can subscribe to our YouTube and podcast, Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Action Sports Jacks. Watch, listen, subscribe. It's down to 12.5, by the way.
Is it? I see 13.5 right here.
The Kasey loves TCU tonight.
Give me the frogs.
I think the dogs are going to destroy them.
Yeah, I think George is going to win.
Give me the frogs, Max Duggan.
Can you put your mic on?
His mic's on.
My mic's on.
Am I unplugged?
You might be having a seizure or something. That thing was only coming in one ear for me earlier on Saturday night.
I
Okay,
see
good.
What happened here.
So that one-
I unplugged it.
Oh, nice. Nice.
I'm like, why can't I hear you guys?
You Martinode.
Yeah. That's
Give me the
rookie
frogs.
Case, because of the spread, or you think they're
Max
winning outright?
Duggan. Oh, spread all day. They win outright. Yeah.
Outright, huh? 66
I feel
ranked
like
defense.
I want to bet you on that.
Let's
Yeah,
go,
me
dog.
too.
What do we want to bet?
I don't know if I can bet both of you. I'm still waiting for that $300. You know, not sure.
66 defense from TCU, 20th defense for Georgia. Obviously, we're well aware of these offenses, but 27th ranked in the nation for TCU, 4th for the Dogs. I don't know, man. I think it's going to be a big blowout.
What's the Horned Frogs like slogan? Do they have like a Go Frogs?
We'll stick you, go Frogs.
Do they have something? I'm all over that.
The Horny Frogs.
Let's give it a ribbit.
It's a good one.
Give
it a ribbit.
That would be awesome if that was it.
So dumb.
That sounds like if we were doing this show and we covered Georgia, you would be calling TCU fans and saying, "Let's give it a ribbit," like you did for the
That
Titans.
sounds like a bad cereal slogan. Let's give it a ribbit. And then you crunch into a.
That'd actually also be
cereal.
awesome if you had like this great voice guy.
It's not me.
No, you just did it. Like get the deep voice going. Let's give it a ribbit.
Now it's getting sexy in here.
Hey, what are we doing, by the way? We going for like 10, 12 minutes, or are we taking a quick time out here in a minute? Direct this show. Produce this show. Will you, Kasey?
Yeah, we'll go to break at 45.
45. So we got a couple. Well, let's talk more about the national championship for a second.
And the fact that it's on the radio right here on ESPN 690 tonight.
You can hear it here tonight, and you can hear the Frogs.
I don't
Following
understand.
overtime.
I don't understand how you don't like Georgia in this game. They played a terrible game the other day and won.
Against a good team.
They are way better than TCU, and they are going to play a way better game than they played.
Yeah.
There's no evidence of that. There's no evidence that
They haven't
Georgia
lost in 2 years.
Yeah, there's no evidence of that. Listen. When it comes down to a game like the national championship, I'm riding with the quarterback that's better, and the quarterback that's better is Max Duggan.
I don't disagree with that.
Give me Duggan. And by the way, I've said this a couple times, and they haven't lost, in fairness, but the games that Georgia's had the toughest time are with the elite receivers on the other side. We said it earlier when we were even talking about it. Ringo, kind of mid, to be real with you. And that's their corner number one. They got a lot of talent. I understand. I get it. TCU has weapons at all the receiver positions. Ohio State had that. I don't know. That's why I feel great about the spread, by the way. You should feel fantastic about the spread.
You know, I don't even like the spread. I'd take Georgia in the spread. They were going to kill them. They were going to mollywop them. All right?
No, they're not.
You know, Tennessee, when they went into Athens, and I understand it was in Athens, but Tennessee had a lot of these kind of things that you're saying. They had a quarterback playing really well, actually probably even better. They had a receiving core that was playing really well that could be electric. And they stopped. The reason why I think Georgia played poorly against Ohio State is C.J. Stroud turned that into a backyard football game. So everything was off schedule.
Yeah.
And if you want to just go straight at Georgia and say, okay, us against you, without doing that, maybe they try to do that, but Duggan can't do that to the degree Stroud did it. I don't think he can. He can run, but he's more of a physical runner than he is like a I'm going to run away from you guy. Not that Stroud was a run away from you guy, but he did more of it than they expected.
He moves around. He kind of waits on receivers a little bit.
Yeah, and also it surprised them because he hadn't run much this year for Ohio State. So I think they just got so off schedule. If you go man against man, I mean, Georgia, I just think they're going to dominate this game. The only question is it like 45-20, or is it really like 27-10? Like a little more lower scoring, or are they going to shoot out a little bit?
I think
the way
they'll
college
shoot out a
football
little
goes,
bit.
it's probably more shootout.
Because I
but
think
again,
towards-
that Tennessee game was more 27-10. I forget what the score
That's
was.
fair, but I think the way it's going to work is the way most of these college games work, which is I think it'll be somewhat of a tough defensive matchup in the beginning of the game, but by the time you're getting to the end of the game, it's just going to be touchdown, back and forth, like we've seen in the last two games.
TCU scores 45 a game. It's not going to be a blowout either way. TCU, their last couple, 51, 31, 62 points against another team that's trying. Those kids are on scholarship too.
You're talking about the 4th ranked defense in the nation.
So
TCU hasn't played anything close to that.
Watch them.
I was
Watch and learn.
Well, the Michigan's
good. Yeah.
No, Michigan's good defense.
They
I
got
was
shredded.
Really surprised by the performance TCU had. It opened my eyes. I just feel like it was the peak performance.
Nah.
You're not going up from that performance.
You're going up one more time.
And Michigan still almost came back on them.
And it's going to be hard to find Quentin Johnson when Duggan's running for his life. That front of Georgia, maybe not what it was last year, still one of the most athletic in the country.
Nah, he going to be cooking. And by the way, you mentioned Tennessee. You know what TCU has? The Tennessee don't? Sonny Dykes. Love that guy.
Sonny Dykes reading a book
This
on the
guy's
plane.
a legend.
All right, one last thing. And how much do you think people around here, and I'm talking Gator fans, are so hoping that TCU wins. Like, they don't want any part of Georgia winning back-to-back.
Yeah.
Right?
Now, do you think it's more
because
annoying?
the SEC usually goes for SEC.
Sure.
But not here.
But do you think it's more annoying when Alabama does it or when Georgia does it for Florida? It's got to be more annoying when Georgia does it.
It is. Like, it is, which is weird because, to be honest with you, for the rest of the football world, it's Alabama.
Yeah.
But for some reason, it's okay for Florida fans, like when Alabama dominates and wins like 6 titles in a row.
Right.
Like, I don't really understand it.
They're like, none on us, guys.
But I get it that the rival is Georgia. Like, I understand that.
Yeah.
And they have lost their place in that battle. So I think there is nobody, there might be, outside of TCU fans, and it might be close with Gator fans rooting harder for Georgia to lose.
What's interesting is I'm not actually doing that because of the Gator thing. I just think TCU is going to win.
Oh, I hear you. No, yeah, I'm not saying.
But I hear your point. Yeah,
you're like a very casual Gator fan. You don't
and
like.
to be honest, they really.
Are you a Gator fan?
Yeah, see that you don't even know it.
Yeah,
But
it very much annoys me. Like, I'm honestly trying to get off.
I
once
never would have
again.
guessed that.
Yeah, it's tough. By the way, Albert in the chat, you're on. Brent, I'm betting with Albert in the chat for more beanies.
What's the bet tonight?
If TCU loses by 28, I got to send him a second beanie.
By 28?
second beanie, they're my beanies. Why are you sending?
Sorry, buddy. No, I owe one.
He goes, if TCU loses by 28, I got to send him $50 a year of money, dude.
Yeah. Here's the thing.
How does this happen?
I
He's sending
Albert's
Brent's
up
bank
in
account.
Jersey. He needs a couple of beanies.
He's like, fine, I'll have Brent stroke you a check if TCU loses.
I owe Albert a beanie. That's what I was telling him this morning. Remember when my mic was on?
Yeah,
and I was
yeah.
talking to Albert.
Okay.
That was bad. So I owed him a beanie. So now he's like, hey, you want to make it 2? And I'm like, yeah, they're not my beanies. Let's do it. So, yeah,
That's
you're on.
so funny.
All right.
What
let's
do I
take a
get when TCU wins? Like, what do I get?
I'll find you. We'll figure that out.
I'm gonna
Before
get
the
some
end of the
beanies.
show,
I'm
we'll
gonna get
figure
2
it out.
beanies. That's
You'll
what
get
I'm
2
gonna get.
beanies to give away to somebody else.
You got to have Brent buy you some cards at Divoli's tomorrow.
There we go. That could happen. All right.
We
I'll buy
actually
that.
need to buy like a couple $100 worth of cards for the picks the last month and a half.
I'll buy them. I'll buy
Brett,
them.
by the way, you owe
if
me
TCU wins.
$75 for fantasy football. Like,
And
I have
$5
to-
from a bet he never paid.
Oh my gosh, the $5 from preseason.
Yep.
I owe $75 for fantasy football.
Yes,
Yeah,
and like
and-
the people are trying to collect their money, dog. I need the cash.
And he owes us pizza from Saturday night. You weren't here, but you
This
should
guy-
collect on it.
This
so.
guy
He didn't order.
just won't pay up on anything.
You never ordered it.
Oh, excuses, Brent.
We'll be back on ESPN 690.
Start the new year off with worry-free water. Discover how good your water can be with a new Connecticut softener and drinking water system. Connecticut's twin tank, non-electric softeners are the most efficient softeners available, and their drinking water systems remove up to 99% of contaminants. If you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. The experts at CGC Water Treatment will test your water for free and provide solutions that are right for you and your family, like they've done for my family for over 5 years. Imagine having clean, clear, purified water at your home. No more plastic bottles, no more waste, just great tasting, purified water that you can trust. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. That's 904-552-1242. Financing options available with approved credit. CGC Water Treatment are proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I'm a proud customer of CGC Water Treatment. Your authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1428211.
For many servicemen and women, the battle doesn't end when they come home. And I know, because I too struggle with the invisible wounds of service. Pups for Patriots and Sam literally changed my life. If you're a veteran or know a veteran struggling with post-traumatic stress or a traumatic brain injury, go to AmericanHumane.org to learn more about the Pups for Patriots Service Dog Program. Let's give our veterans a fighting chance.
A message from American Humane.
Hi, I'm Josh Scobie, proud supporter of Guardian Catholic School, where we believe that every child deserves access to a quality faith-based education. Grab your friends and join me for the 19th annual Ron Townsend Golf Classic on February 20th at Deerwood Country Club. Play a round of golf to raise money for the educational scholarships for deserving children in North Jacksonville. You can become a sponsor or reserve your space by visiting rontownsendgolfclassic.com or call 904-765-1920. Guardian Catholic School, faithful protectors of potential.
Anyone with a pet knows that they are truly a member of the family. I know my family and I would go above and beyond for our black pug Arlo, which is what the best veterinary practices understand. People need to be able to trust whose hands they are putting their pets into. So when they're looking for a new veterinary practice, one of the first things they do is look at the practice's online reviews. At Cox Media Group, we help ensure that your online reputation and reviews are strong. So let's embark on improving your digital reputation. Head to cmg.com to find out more so we can see how Cox Media Group can help you boost your website's traffic.
Buying or leasing a car in Jacksonville is the best with Fields Auto Group, Jacksonville's luxury auto group. Lexus of Jacksonville and Orange Park, Mercedes-Benz of Jacksonville, Orange Park, Jaguar Land Rover, Jacksonville, Porsche, Jacksonville, Fields Cadillac, Jacksonville, and St. Augustine. If the luxury car you want isn't in stock, Fields Auto Group will order it. And at Fields, you'll never be charged over sticker price. Stop by a Fields store today and see what world-class service really means. Fields is a proud sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Fields Auto Group, fieldsauto.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Start your new year in a like-new car from the pre-owned experts at Arlington Toyota. Arlington Pre-Owned has over 300 used available. All makes, all models, some even same model year. You gotta see it. And when it comes to buying with confidence, just leave it to my friends at Arlington. Their 30-day exchange program comes with your purchase. That's 30 days to love your pre-owned purchase or exchange it. Add some major excitement to your new year and an amazing new ride from Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned. In person, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, and online anytime at arlingtontoyota.com.
Wireless headphones. That'll be $200.
I'll use my Capital One Quicksilver card.
Now that's a hit. You used the Capital One Quicksilver card, which makes you the hero of every purchase. With Quicksilver, you earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase everywhere.
I wanted running music, but unlimited 1.5% cash back is pretty heroic.
Good instincts. Every hero needs a theme song. The Capital One Quicksilver card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
The Mina Kimes Show, featuring Lenny.
And we should know, and I assume you saw this, but it's too late to take back your pick.
I can tell you I saw that because I was the one that texted that to you.
Oh, I missed that. I can confirm you texted that to me, and I wrote back, damn, that would be huge. This was an hour and a half ago in my defense. I've been busy.
Listen and subscribe to The Mina Kimes Show, featuring Lenny, wherever you listen to podcasts.
When you went car shopping, you meant business. You aced vehicle history searches and test drives. You out-salesmaned the salesman. Now you've got your wheels. If you manage that, you can get your retirement plan on track. Visiting aceyourretirement.org can help. With 401k tips and smart savings strategies, you'll have the info you need to get more for your future. Go to aceyourretirement.org, because when it comes to speeding past financial challenges, you're an ace. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council. Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made her college years happen. Opening that education savings account when she was little. Spearheading a campus tour. And another, and another, and another, and another. Bam! Deciphering financial aid. She was like, what? Well, now she's like, you aced planning for college. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
Hey everybody, it's Brent Martineau from Action Sports Jacks. There's a good chance you have a smart speaker, so use it with ESPN 690. Stay up to date on the Jags and all things sports by telling Alexa or Google to play ESPN 690. It's as easy as that. Make sure you listen weekdays 3 until 6 p.m. on ESPN 690.
Brent and Friends is sponsored by Best Bet, now open in St. Augustine.
Someone on Twitter, I can't find it now, so apologies. I appreciate always jumping in on Twitter, and now I'm not getting it, but Aaron just brought it back up about the Chargers' schedule and that they really haven't beaten anybody of significance. This was Main Man Plan, said, great point by Aaron on ESPN 690.
Oh.
Chargers only beat one winning team this year. It was the Dolphins. That's telling. And I want you to look into those things. Like, we think the Chargers are good because of Herbert, and we know they have like
They got
fantasy
some
football
studs.
weapons.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
They really
Offense
do.
and defense. I mean, they got studs all over that
They
team.
really do. They have a lot of talent, but they've also underperformed over the years with all that talent.
This year.
And even this year, I don't know if they underperformed.
I get it.
10-7.
Injuries, I get it. But it's not like they have 3 stars on that team.
This was a team, though, that could easily have gone like the way of the Raiders with all the injuries, and they didn't. I give them credit for that.
Okay.
And Herbert showed toughness battling through that injury, too,
Sure.
and all that stuff. So, and I know Kasey hates Staley, but he's done a good enough job to get him 10 wins.
Yeah.
So
He's not a good
he might go for it on his own 18-yard line. Hey, we got a chance to see Steve Boston the other day, who calls in all the time. Steve is on the line right now here on ESPN 6. It was great to see everybody at the Duval house. Thanks for stopping by, man.
Hey, no problem, guys. Figured you needed to put a face to the name.
We did.
Before I get to the Jags, I agree with Kasey. TCU is going to be very dangerous, and that's because all the receivers outside the corners by at least 3 inches. But, anyways, getting to the Jags, I want to give it up to the defense. I was really proud of them, especially the unsung hero, in my opinion, Devon Hamilton. Because without him in the middle, I have a feeling like that run game of the Titans probably went a different way. But, and I also got to say, I feel sorry for Rashawn Jenkins ending up in, King Henry's Stiff Arm Hall of Fame.
That was a rough one. Yeah.
But Henry learned a lesson yesterday. He can't stiff-arm Trayvon Walker. He tried, but you can't stiff-arm somebody that big and powerful and has gorilla arms to where he has longer arms than you.
He's got like a 10.5-foot reach.
Stiff-arm him.
Yeah. Although you got to give King Henry some credit. When the man puts his arm out and that hand comes for your head or your chest, chances are you're getting planted in the dirt.
It was really interesting. Thanks, Steve. Appreciate the call. I think was interesting about the whole Rashawn thing is I got thinking the way this game could have turned out is Rashawn being in every highlight being stiff-armed.
Yeah.
Instead, he's in every highlight making the game-winning play.
Oh, yeah. Big
so
one.
think about that, right?
That's true.
I mean, a guy like Leon Jacobs is still in that 99-yard run highlight.
I tell you what.
Hadn't played here in like 4 years.
Yeah, it could have been Sadtown, USA. Instead, it's Jenkinsville. Come on.
Jenkinsville. Welcome to Jenkinsville. We'll be back. Football at 5. So much going on across the NFL. Big college football game tonight. You can listen on ESPN 690. Expanded coverage because of the Jags. We'll have Morning Madness tomorrow at 8 a.m. and every day this week. We'll be back on Brent and Friends on ESPN 690.
Victim of a slip and fall? It takes one phone call to take back control of your life. Anajar and Levine will fight to get you the compensation you deserve. Call me, Mark Anajar, for a free consultation. 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
Main office, Jacksonville.
Anybody can win at Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino Tampa. One jackpot is paid out every minute on the hottest slot machines and table games. With over $2 billion in jackpots paid out in the last year, you could be the next lucky winner. Seminole Hard Rock Tampa has over 800 rooms and suites, a luxurious rock spa and salon, award-winning restaurants, and an exciting comedy and concert lineup, including pool parties with world-renowned artists. With a variety of gaming, dining, and entertainment options, anybody can win at Seminole Hard Rock Tampa.
The Eagles Hotel California Tour.
Welcome to the Hotel California.
Live in concert with a full orchestra. Performing their iconic album Hotel California, beginning to end, plus a greatest hits set. The Eagles. 5-Star Veterans Memorial Arena, Saturday, March 25th. Get tickets Friday, January 13th at 10 a.m. at Ticketmaster.com.
ESPN 690 is home for the Florida Sportsman Fishing Show hosted by Captain Rick Riles. Tune in every Saturday morning from 7 to 9 a.m. to find out what's biting now. Fishing so fresh, you can almost smell it.
Rich Jones here. Investing can be more about just filling a bank account. It's about having a secure retirement, protecting your family. Let DLP Capital help you to protect your why. Here's CEO and founder Don Wenner.
I started DLP Capital with an expectation that I could provide my family, my investors, my team members, and the families of my investors with awesome returns, limited volatility, and no losses, all while providing desperately needed affordable housing to the American workforce.
To get your investor's guide and learn more, dial ** invest on your cell phone or visit highyieldreturns.net.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Bills safety Damar Hamlin's been released from the University of Cincinnati Medical Center and transferred to a hospital in Buffalo to resume his recovery. Another sign of the remarkable progress he's made 1 week after going into cardiac arrest during a game. And he certainly enjoyed the Bills' win yesterday, especially teammate Nyheim Hines' opening kickoff return for a touchdown. Explains UCMC doctor Tim Pritz.
You watched the game on yesterday. When the opening kickoff was run back, he jumped up and down, got out of his chair, set, I think, every alarm off in the ICU in the process. But he was fine. It was just appropriate reaction to a very exciting play. So he very much enjoyed it and enjoys the support from everyone.
Cliff Kingsbury's time in Arizona is over. The Cardinals fired their head coach 10 months after signing him to an extension through the 2027 season, so he walks away with over $30 million. His 4-year tenure marred by underachieving and undisciplined football and one playoff appearance. In addition, Cardinals GM Steve Keim stepping away from his position in order to focus on his health.
Do you own or rent your home? Sure you do. Fortunately, Geico makes it easy to bundle your home and car insurance. It's a good thing, too, because having a home is hard work. Go to geico.com, get a quote, and see how much you could save. Geico.com. Easy.
WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
Start the new year off with worry-free water. Discover how good your water can be with a new Connecticut softener and drinking water system. Connecticut's twin tank, non-electric softeners are the most efficient softeners available, and their drinking water systems remove up to 99% of contaminants. If you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. The experts at CGC Water Treatment will test your water for free and provide solutions that are right for you and your family, like they've done for my family for over 5 years. Imagine having clean, clear, purified water at your home. No more plastic bottles, no more waste, just great tasting, purified water that you can trust. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. That's 904-552-1242. Financing options available with approved credit. CGC Water Treatment are proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I'm a proud customer of CGC Water Treatment. Your authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1428211.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
ESPN 690 and Action Sports Shacks presents Brent and Friends with Brent Martineau.
We're going to have to show a little more patience than the year 2 pom-pom people.
Kasey Kurtz.
Yo! But what are we doing, bro? Come on!
And Aaron Schachter.
I'm all in favor of these two showing their love, really celebrating their relationship.
Get him! Get him! Get him! Hit him! Hit him! Hit him! Yeah! Boom! Jack! Boom! Yeah! Boom! Jack! Boom!
This is Brent and Friends with Brent Martineau, Kasey Kurtz, and Aaron Schachter on Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio, ESPN 690.
And a good afternoon, a good Monday early evening to the AFC South champ fans. AFC South champs.
You don't think we have
fans.
Titans fans?
No.
Hopefully
Zero
not.
Titans fans. It's the Brent and Friends show. Aaron Schachter, Kasey Kurtz, Brent Martineau with his whipped cream and coffee.
Yeah, just filled it up, baby.
You make that coffee with room temperature water, Brent, or no?
I actually did.
Oh, nice. All right.
But it didn't matter. It's getting hotter.
Like you brew it in a gym sock or something.
This guy's the worst.
Whatever it takes. Oh, man. Football at 5. What do we got? We got the NFL is wild.
What a wild time in the NFL.
You know what's interesting about the NFL? The season ends. You get 14 teams going to the playoffs.
Facts.
And the biggest story, or one of the biggest stories in the regular season finale, is the worst team in the NFL.
One of the biggest stories is the worst team in the NFL. What are we talking about here?
The Houston Texans.
Oh, okay, yes.
They fire their coach. They go for 2 to win a game that cost them the number 1 overall pick as well.
Chronologically, you're a little bit out of order there, but that's okay. You know what I like about that story?
I might not
you
be.
might not be.
And
You're
that's
right.
why the coach might have gone for 2.
You know, this is a really good point because it was widely reported that Lovie Smith had met with ownership prior to the game to essentially beg for his job, to beg for the second year. And Lovie Smith, some might say he earned it with his 1 or 2 wins this year. But no, it doesn't look like it's going to work out for Lovie Smith after the Texans go for 2 and essentially play away the first pick in the draft.
But what a machine. That's what I was saying. The NFL's a machine because of all the obvious things. But no sport offers us the last place team drama like the NFL in the final weeks of the regular season.
I said it before, I'll say it again. It's the best product of anything out there. Not just any sport. I'm not saying the NFL is better than tennis, guys. I'm saying the NFL is the best product out there. Take any product, your iPhone, a Tesla, my air fryer, which we love, we swear by it. NFL's a better product. Never disappoints.
Air fryer is good.
Never disappoints. You go to your favorite restaurant. You may get a dish you don't like. Maybe the cook is in a bad mood that day. NFL, never disappoint. Maybe your team loses and that's disappointing to you. The product never disappoints. Love it.
How crazy is it that they went for 2 to lose the number 1 overall pick?
What do some of these people Then again, you're talking about these guys who are playing with their pride out there. Like, I say this to my friends all the time. Like, you go tell the 6'5", 320-pounder to take a playoff. Like, I don't know, man. I don't think that goes down like that.
I'll say that, you know what yesterday was a really good example of for the NFL? They don't have an integrity problem. The league.
Okay.
I don't know, bro. I saw Nathan Peterman out there for the Bears.
He didn't play well, huh? I didn't really watch.
I mean, when you have a whole Justin Fields, like, I understand you don't want to get him hurt. I get it, but it's the last game of the season. It's the argument I'd give you because they ended up with the number 1 overall pick.
Yeah, well, that's true. But look, like Ducky wasn't wrong
about this.
That stat is just crazy. I said it all week. Ducky Betts, who comes on on Thursday, said 60% of the time, and I don't know what time frame he was talking about, but 60% of the time, the team that doesn't matter covers against the team that it does matter. Look at the Lions last night. I mean, you do not have an integrity problem if the Lions beat the Packers in Lambeau with nothing on the line for them. Houston goes for 2 with losing the highest priority.
Good for them.
The Giants didn't play anybody and still covered against the Eagles. The best team in the NFL.
Well, Kenny Golladay was out there, but he is one of their backups. You're right.
I mean, he had to play somebody, but isn't that wild? I mean, that's why the league is crazy good. And now all those people in Houston and Chicago fans, I saw they were cheering for the number 1 overall pick. We did it in Jacksonville a couple years ago. We didn't do it as much last year, but we did it a couple years ago.
You're welcome, guys. Yes.
Yeah. And so the theater of now the offseason and who you're going to draft starts in all those places. Thankfully not here where the Jaguars currently are sitting in the 21st draft selection. We might not have to do any draft coverage.
What are we going to do?
No draft coverage.
All right.
It's a weird thing to declare, but okay.
That's all right.
Sounds like March Madness.
All right, fine. We'll bring Austin back.
It's like the only thing we're going to be talking about for 2 months. I don't understand why you wouldn't want to do it.
Mock will live again.
Let's cover badminton in April.
But it's a while. I mean, the NFL is just crazy. I'm not surprised Lovie Smith gets fired, by the way. I kind of figured they would reset it again.
Sure.
And now they start all over with what? Coach and quarterback.
And possibly GM. That's still to be determined, but the word is Kasey on the way out there.
What else? Who else got fired?
You got Cliff Kingsbury, who got
been
fired today, and then Steve Kine officially said he's stepping away, even though we kind of knew this for the last 2 weeks he was going to step away, or that he had stepped away.
That is crazy, too, because those guys, what were they, Kasey, 26 and 27 or 27 and 28 extended to, something like that the front office was?
Last offseason, yeah.
Pulled the plug on it.
Yeah.
That's an organization that pulled the plug on Josh Rosen and Wilkes after 1 year, and now, after signing these 2 guys to extensions, pulled the plug on those guys too.
It's interesting to me because we've actually talked about that organization and how the ownership had been fairly consistent for a few years. The Bidwell family, one of the good owners we have talked about, but Michael Bidwell showing he's got no patience for any of it.
What do you got? You got some treats for us?
I do. I've got some tweets.
Do you need some more time?
Did you say treats?
No.
I know. I did again. You heard it.
These are.
You said you weren't listening to the show. You just told me earlier you weren't listening to the show, and I just said treats for tweets.
You can tell him that.
By the way, treats for tweets could be a good idea.
I got them.
What if
By
I told you
I'd
these
be
tweets are
big if I got a treat every time I tweeted.
It's like Pavlov's Brent. His mouth waters every time I pull up a tweet.
What a moment.
We could start with Adnan Verk. Here's our first tweet of the day. Dan Campbell, Doug Peterson, or Mike Tomlin. Which 9-8 team wins Coach of the Year? The Lions, our Jaguars, or the Steelers? Campbell, Peterson, or Tomlin? Kasey, you're just about to take a sip of coffee. Please tell me what your answer is.
Mike Tomlin, it's incredible what they've done.
over Doug Peterson.
I'm getting to Doug Peterson.
Just
I want
check
to build
it.
up the suspense, but
All
no, I
right.
can't. So Doug Peterson.
Well,
I was going to build it up.
Lack of suspense right there.
Tomlin, he did a good job. I can't believe it. Small hands Kenny Pickett. He's coming around. Good things are happening for the Steelers. Again, it's incredible that they never finish under 500.
So Dan Campbell in third place on your list here? That's
Yes.
tough.
Yes.
Lions were supposed to be putrid.
Nobody believed in the Steelers but me. So, but Doug Peterson. Come on.
Do you guys actually think that the question was amongst the 9 and 8 coaches?
Yeah, Campbell,
which one,
Peterson,
right?
and
Because they're
Tomlin,
all
yeah.
terrific coaching
Great
jobs.
coaching jobs.
I actually think Campbell was in the lead for so long because the Lions were making so much steam and their offense was looking good and they were on a roll until they lost to Carolina. So
He's
then
also the biggest personality
and
of
the
the three.
personality. You're right. Tomlin's not going to get enough love here because we're like, yeah, he always does that. He's always winning, right? And Peterson now all of a sudden has surged. Like he's the finishing horse in this race. And now, boom, he's the only guy that makes the playoffs. I think Peterson has to be the answer. I've said this for weeks and weeks. Doug Peterson has done the best job in football this year. Nobody inherited what Doug inherited and ended up at the finish line where Doug finished.
I think it's interesting when we talk about coaching, we often talk about getting players to perform, right? But part of that is getting in their head, psychology of players, being the therapist.
Big part of it.
What we don't talk about, though, is how that affects a human being independent of on-field performance. Doug came to this team when this team was, dare I say, broken after Urban Meyer.
I think that's a fair way to say it.
And having nothing to do with what was going on in the field, which was ugly as well, this was a team that was broken in the locker room. This was a team that was a wayward ship in a foggy night on the water with no light tower. What? Case?
That was poetic.
You don't like prose?
That was prose. That was
Well
good.
done, bro.
I'm just saying the job Doug Peterson did extends past the
I agree.
field,
I
the
agree.
sidelines.
Yeah, I think
he's earned it for that reason.
So what I want to ask you, and we appreciate the topic in the tweet, is he really in the running now for Coach of the Year?
I mean, he should be.
I mean, that question was amongst 9 and 8 guys.
Right.
I don't think Tomlin's in the running for Coach of the Year.
No.
I think Campbell is. I think Doug is. And then I think you have guys like what? Sirianni,
Dable, and one more, maybe McDermott.
Some people, McDermott and O'Connell. I wonder if McDermott will get a lot of
little sympathy love.
A little bit.
I think Dable runs away with it, especially if the Giants are able to pull off the impossible and win a playoff game. But
what I don't understand it. I don't understand how you can say that though. Why? Like I think Dable has done a tremendous job.
Okay.
But
because you don't know who's their receivers. Daniel Jones, nobody knew about that.
The Daniel
Also,
Jones
the
part of
defense
it's
isn't
really
great,
good,
too.
and they did make the playoffs, so there's that part.
Here's why I say it, because
What's their record
Sirianni's
overall?
team 9-7, I think 9-7 and
So
1.
they got about the same record.
My problem with
that's fair.
Sirianni is that the Eagles made the playoffs last year.
Yeah,
the
like
Bills made the
they were
playoffs.
building off it.
Sirianni-
Dable's team was garbage, just like Peterson's team.
They were. Sirianni runs away with it if they don't lose with Minshew.
Sure.
Because I'm not convinced they lose if Hurts plays, and they might be, one loss team. Then you win it.
Yeah, but now he's got him limping down the stretch instead, and it's
got
not
Siri-
totally his fault. But
Currently at MGM, Sirianni the odds-on favorite. Kyle Shanahan now plus
Shanahan.
300. That's I guess so. He's got a
That'll
backup
make Brent
to the backup.
so mad. Brent
I
will be
will.
so
I'll be
mad.
But
pissed if
that
Shanahan
team is
wins
like an all-time roster on defense and a great offensive roster too. Like Shanahan, really? Okay, fine.
Now you sound like Brent.
Peterson right now in third at plus 900.
Oh, he is.
Then you got Dable at 1,600, Campbell at 2,000.
So Peterson's in third on that.
That's BetMGM, yes.
Really? That surprises me. And so you said, sorry, I interrupted you. It's Campbell and then who?
Campbell.
Dable, then Campbell.
Dable, then Campbell.
Okay.
Kevin O'Connell isn't going to win it. Robert Saleh isn't going to win it.
Nah.
McDermott then at plus 10,000.
Okay, so listen, Doug in the final three makes sense to me.
Sure.
And again, he's done a better job than Sirianni.
With less tools.
And he's done a better job than
Shanahan.
Shanahan's done a good job. But he's
Better job with less tools, though.
Yeah, but he's played 3 quarterbacks, even though the reason why I don't like Shanahan is because he made his own damn bed.
Fair. But and when you bring up the 3 quarterbacks, just keep in mind that the first quarterback isn't necessarily like he's playing his top guy. He's playing his development guy. He had to play him.
Yeah.
So
Now
he
he's
wanted to
playing his
play
new
Jimmy,
development guy.
and then he got to play Jimmy for weeks.
And listen-
then Jimmy got hurt, so Brock Purdy's the backup.
Everybody's winning with third-string quarterbacks. Mike McDaniel just did it. Heck, Josh Dobbs almost pulled it off with Vrabel. So,
Almost.
Man.
all right, what else you got?
Next tweet's from ESPN. I still to this, I just don't get what happened here. But
Oh, wait, timeout.
Oh, okay.
Donna in our Duval and Duval postgame show,
yes,
Donna brought up another good example. No Pro Bowlers are all pro guys
A really
for the
good
Jags.
point.
That was a great call.
They're all over. The Eagles have 3 Pro Bowlers on just the offensive line.
There we go.
Forget about, like, the defense has 3 or 4. Like, there's 7 or 8 Pro Bowlers on that team. Niners, too. Sent, like, 6 guys, 7 guys to the Pro Bowl. Unbelievable.
Doug for president.
Doug for president.
Hey, I guess we have Simon on the line.
Let's go to Simon.
Let's go to
then.
Simon, then get your tweets. I'm really killing your segment.
It's fine, bro.
But we we don't want to keep Simon waiting.
All right, let's go to Simon.
What is?
Thank you, Simon. Is going to try to do my best to talk, but you
got a lot of pressure, Simon. Here we go.
I was one of those 70,000 that was out there, just losing my voice. But first, I just want to comment. So glad to see DeMar being let out of the hospital in Cincinnati and being back home in Buffalo. What a great story that is.
Amazing.
And continue, Godspeed for his health, and just great to see that. I wanted to comment real quick a couple things. First, about the scheduling with the Chargers, because I didn't really pay attention too much about what, obviously they're not on the West Coast, but now I look back. How would you like to have played the Chiefs to open the season, lose by 3, having to go to play in San Francisco, lose by a touchdown, and then go back and play the Chiefs again within the top 10 games? So you look at their losses. I know what you're saying as far as having big wins against quality teams, but you play the Chiefs twice with 3 in the first 10 games and playing within a field goal, and play the Chargers in San Francisco and play them to 8. I think that's something that's worthy of recognition of. The other point I wanted to make is, what do you think about? I know we always like to have the home team. We like to kick off and then have the ball to start the second half, but I believe Jamal Agnew is such an important weapon for us. I like to see him take the ball right from the beginning. I want to hear what you think about maybe doing a little reversal here. The Chargers don't have a good kicker. That kicker, the Dick or whatever his name is, he can't kick that far. He doesn't have a very strong leg. So I can see Jamal maybe take it to the house and get that the house going wild right from the get-go. So thanks, guys, for taking my call. I want to hear your comments on all that. Thanks.
Appreciate it, Simon. I think if you're going to give the Chargers, credit for keeping it close in big games with the Niners and then going home to play Kansas City and keeping that game close, you also have to give the Chargers credit for only winning by 1 against a bad Cardinals team, and then following that up with a loss to a bad Raiders team, and then following that up with only winning by a touchdown against a bad Dolphins team, and then only winning by 3 against a bad Titans team, and then only winning by, there are lots of games where they didn't win by more than 5 points. I think you have to at least address that too, Brent.
I understand Simon's point, and I think it's a good point, because we're not saying, I'm not saying they're not a good team. I just think it's an interesting note, and it's not like they ran through Murderer's Row to get here. Jags have more impressive wins, but the Jags have warts too. And he is right. You're going to play Kansas City a couple times. Sure. Teams like San Francisco, those are going to be hard. So this doesn't really change the opinion of the game. I think the Chargers are good enough to win the game. I just thought it was an interesting observation that the teams they beat were just, okay, listen, the Jags, against that same Tennessee team, they needed a miracle play almost to beat them the other night.
Yep.
Right? So it's football. We get the NFL, but it is interesting that they only beat one team with a winning record.
You hear 10-6, 10-7, you go, oh, they had a decent season with injuries, but then you look at those wins and you're like, okay. I mean, a lot of good teams can beat those teams even with injuries.
Jamal Agnew, I get your point, Simon, but it's not happening. Here's why. Most teams don't kick to Jamal Agnew.
They try not to.
Now, they knew they had an advantage there. Jamal would bring it out 3-4 yards into the end zone, but, I mean, he was awesome. He was so
even
good.
on the squib kick from the Titans, Jamal was able to grab that thing and go with it.
So good. I mean, he was a massive part of that win.
Yes.
For the Jacksonville Jaguars. Even though was part of the fumble on the trick play too. Massive part of the win. I don't think they'll do it, and here's why. I think Doug loves the idea of the bonus possession. And they almost got it again. That was a big sequence in the game. They had 2nd and 13. They couldn't stop the Titans. They stopped the Titans with 2 minutes to go. They get the ball back, decent field position. They maybe score, kick a field goal, and get it again coming out of the gates in the 3rd. That's what they did in Nashville. They almost did that, remember, in Kansas City where they got the turnover but missed the field goal.
Yeah.
Like those are precious moments. That middle 8, Doug has stressed that probably more than any coach I've ever covered here in Jacksonville in my 15 years. Cover quite a few of them now. And Doug really stresses that. And it's worked for the Jags. Like, I love when the Jags actually get the kick in the second half, and that won't change. Like, I get your point, but it's not going to change.
In fairness to the caller, their kicker, this is actually a weird stat. He only has touchbacks on 83.6% of his kicks. That is not a high number.
No, that's a low number in the NFL.
So
like Matthew Wright.
What was that?
Nothing. He didn't say anything.
Okay. Let's.
Sure, you're your treats for tweets.
I thought you weren't listening to this show, Kasey.
Yeah, that's what I thought, buddy. The point of the story is, give him a try. I'm with it. I'm with the caller. Get the ball first. Shock the world.
Listen, I almost didn't hear anything Simon said. You know why?
No.
Because I just love the fact these guys have no voices left from Saturday night. Like, that's like the fourth caller that, like, you could Joe and Simon. I mean, Simon legit, he's hurting, man.
Well, they
like,
better
drink
get some
water.
treatment. They better get game ready. They better get their throats massaged or something because we got to bring them out of the bank for this weekend.
What did he say?
Got to get treatment.
Get to a tweet, please.
Get a little throat massage case.
Why did he say it again?
You asked me what he said. I was telling you what he said.
Go to tweets, please.
Yep.
ESPN tweeted Packers linebacker Quay Walker was disqualified for pushing a Lions trainer. What?
Well, they were right. He was disqualified for that.
What happened here? Like, what could possibly be the reason for Quay to push this trainer?
So the story is, and I think they brought up later in the broadcast, Tirico did, that it was DeAndre Swift that was down on the play, right? And so Walker and who's the other guy? Was it Wyatt, the other Georgia kid?
Yeah, Wyatt, yeah.
So they thought, like, the idea of it, if you're defending them in any way, which you can't really defend, is that they were trying to check on their buddy to see how he's doing. And then, like, the trainer got in the way and blocked them off it. And they were like, what the heck? We're trying to check on her. And just lost their mind, right?
That's a garbage excuse.
Well, no, that's what Tirico said. So you're asking me the question. And I was like, oh, I kind of can see how it can manifest. Listen, these guys lose their mind in between the white lines sometimes.
No, but I buy that. I don't buy the excuse. I buy that he loses his mind. He sees a guy and he's just like, out of the way. Let's get going with the game. Same thing like Devontae Adams pushing a photog or all these other things we've seen this year. Like, wait, what are you doing, man?
He tweeted today, and he apologized. I was thinking of this earlier too. It's like, it's funny how, like, Twitter is the place to apologize for your
it's the official
wrongdoings.
apology platform.
It is. It really is. He said, I want to apologize publicly about what happened Sunday night. I reacted off my emotions again, take full responsibility, make another stupid decision. And see, when he says again and another, he's already been ejected. He was ejected for pushing a coach earlier this year.
Pushing everybody but the other team.
Yeah, so, I mean, he, that's... It's inexplicable in this week, given everything with DeMar Hamlin and the love for doctors and trainers and what just went down.
Like, talk about a guy who doesn't deserve to get pushed ever.
I know.
So
you know what? I'll give the trainer credit. Did you look at the video?
He was like,
he bows up.
He's like, if you want to go, dog, we're going.
He did. Feeling froggy, Quay? It's a FLZ, Froggy Landing Zone. Come on.
So, real quick. Never mind.
That's what I would do. I would grab the closest chair, go over the back of his helmet with it.
So
WWE style.
There's something interesting going on with the Packers. I know we're about to talk about the Packers again. I don't know if you saw the video from Alan Lazard. Do you see that?
No.
I didn't.
I can't even play it because there's a lot of F-bombs.
Okay.
But they straight up asked, like, he was answering a question in the locker cleanout today, and he's like, oh, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to be back here.
Huh.
And now you've got potentially Aaron Rodgers stuff again. Well, there's always Aaron Rodgers stuff, but you might have that again. And now you have their young players pushing trainers, getting tossed for the second time in a game. Devontae Adams left last year, asked out. There's some stuff going on in Green Bay, man.
Yeah, Green Bay looks a little lost. You know, the Douglas thing on the late in the game. No, late in the first half would have been a 46-yard field goal attempt. And then he gets a penalty for unsportsmanlike, moves it 15 yards closer. And by the way, 46 yards was no gimme because of the cold weather yesterday. So, I mean, they're just undisciplined. They're a mess. They have no direction right now.
Well,
and
who wants
really
to play
don't have
in
a
Green
direction.
Bay? Like, for the last 20 years, you go there.
It's Green Bay.
Well, you go there for Favre or Rodgers for the last 20 years. Why else you going to Green Bay?
Because it's one of the come on. I think it's one of the classy organizations of sports. I mean, this isn't like you don't talk undisciplined nature of the Green Bay Packers. You got some of the great players of all time. You've got some of the great personalities of all time. I mean, I don't think of them in any way, shape, or form as a place that nobody wants to go.
But in fairness, what free agents are they signing?
Well, that's their lack of direction and lack of philosophy.
Or are we giving them a hard time for actually trying to get players and no one wants to go?
No one wants to go. There's nothing there. You've been there. You've been there.
Go back to the Aaron Rodgers when they hired LaFleur. There's beef there apparently, right? And we still don't know what's going on with Rodgers. But now I'm starting to look at LaFleur, and I'm like, can this guy not lead? Because
we're going to find out in a hurry.
Your first-round pick cannot be getting tossed twice in a season. That can't happen.
Here's the thing, though.
You've got guys begging to leave.
Let me defend my former Ashland University
All right.
assistant football coach. Can you lead with Aaron Rodgers as your quarterback?
It's got to be tough. I get that point. This guy is counter messaging everything, and you can't treat him like you treat everybody else. So accountability messaging gets screwed up. I get it.
But is it fair to ask your question? See, I would turn your question in, do people really want to play with Aaron Rodgers if you're not a receiver, right? Like if you're on the other side of the ball, do you want to be a part of the drama that you know is going to take place each and every year and offseason? That might be a lot to digest. But listen, I just don't buy it, guys. People want to play. If you don't want to tell me why people don't want to play in Houston the last couple of years because of the mess that's gone on there, I get it. People have said that people don't want to play in Jacksonville. I don't buy it. People want to play anywhere in the National Football League, and Green Bay is one of the storied franchises, one of the magical places we have. I think people are fine playing.
I don't think you're wrong about their history. I'll just say this, and I'll be done with it. Ask Quay Walker to name 3 historical figures out of Green Bay.
That's fair, but he knows Lambeau Field.
Okay, sure. I'll
It
get
is
with you
damn
on that.
cold there.
It's cold.
Something's going on with the Packers. Big trust.
Oh, no, listen, that can be the same. Those can be two different things. Something is going on with the Packers. The Packers are a mess right now.
Well, the big thing that's going on right now that they got to answer, Ari Mariov tweeted, which is Jameson Williams asked Aaron Rodgers after the game for his jersey. Aaron Rodgers' response, I'm going to hold on to this one, end quote. Let the speculation begin, guys. Do we think Aaron Rodgers is done, number 1, in Green Bay, but number 2, overall?
Definitely done in Green Bay.
I think he is done in Green Bay.
You think he's coming back and playing next year?
I might be. He said we got to get away from the emotions of it. I might have to get away from the emotions of just watching it yesterday. But it certainly feels like he's done. I think everybody's fatigued of the Aaron Rodgers drama.
Do you think Aaron Rodgers is fatigued of the Aaron Rodgers drama?
Yes,
I think
he has
so.
to stir it up every day. This guy's like, please send me somewhere else.
I think he's tired of the criticism. I think this guy went through a career, and granted, he's not a lovable guy, so he's never been that guy who's been the darling of the country or whatever. They shoved him in a few State Farm commercials or Allstate commercials, whatever he's been in. But like,
almost put him on Jeopardy as the host.
But
man.
he's not Peyton Manning, though. Like, he's not beloved. He wasn't Tom Brady during Brady's dynastic run. He's not thought of, and especially after COVID, and that really split his fan base in half with his opinions on it. So I'm looking at Aaron Rodgers going, maybe he's just tired of the criticism.
I think he's tired.
Yeah.
I think he's fatigued. I think when you're, I will say this from Rodgers' point of view, and he's a polarizing guy, but when you lose Davante Adams, really your only weapon of the last handful of years, when you've done as much for that organization, and they continuously like pull, and you're part of the reason. I mean, he certainly stirs it up. But they really haven't given him a whole lot to work with outside of Aaron Jones and Davante Adams, and then Davante got traded away.
Right.
I mean, Randall Cobb, he can love him as a guy, but Randall Cobb's a guy by this time of his career, right?
Sure.
So, and he had to beg for him to come back. Like, he's really just, it's like, hey, we're going to do this radio show for another 6 months. Let's just go get my buddies and see. I want to have fun.
It's kind of what you did.
I thought that's what we did with Aaron.
But that's okay.
Aaron was like hanging out outside, like knocking.
I was literally just sitting here bored.
Which means we got about 5 months left. Maybe. But, you know, so I think people, I'm tired. I'm fascinated by Rodgers, the character, and how he's going to be viewed and all those things. The NFL's not tired of him because it keeps him in the spotlight all the time. I think the Green Bay Packers are tired of Aaron, and I think Aaron is tired of the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah.
That's why the biggest reason the divorce, while I could see him hanging it up, I don't think he hangs it up.
So where does he go?
There's plenty of places. Indianapolis, New
Indianapolis
York,
is a
Las
possibility.
Vegas.
Vegas is a possibility.
Miami.
Seattle. Hey, Gino, great, but we got Aaron Rodgers walking in the door.
Yeah, I don't see it. I don't see Seattle spending
Orleans.
60. New Orleans, I could see.
By the way, if I'm Denver, I'm making that play again. I'm like, we don't got nobody. I don't know what you're talking about.
You know, you're locked in a Russell. You're not getting out of that deal.
In fairness, now that I actually say that out loud, like, is Green Bay going to be like, nah, we're not taking him?
Who, Russell Wilson?
Yes. You don't know if Jordan Love's
You mean
good.
just a 1-for-1 trade? A straight-up trade?
No. There's more stuff there. But I'm saying if that's part of the return, you go with Russell Wilson, you go with Jordan Love.
I think he's elsewhere. I think he still plays.
Well, I'm going to put it on the record right here.
He is an interesting cat, though.
I think it's a bad idea for the Jets to do. I know there's a lot of speculation that he might go to the Jets. I was telling Kasey in the back room, if the Jets pick this guy up, I will quit that franchise until he's done.
Which makes no sense.
I will leave the fandom of the. I swear to you.
What would you rather him do?
You will watch your favorite team win a Super Bowl.
No, well, actually, I don't want Zach Wilson back, but if I had to rank it, I would put riding with Zach Wilson after an offseason above getting Aaron Rodgers.
You are a clown. Like, honestly, that is just not smart. You will watch your favorite team win a Super Bowl from the sidelines.
He's not, first of all. He's not a Super Bowl quarterback at 40 years old. He's not. We saw it this year. He's not.
But the Jets' defense is good enough to win if he could just put up 20 points.
This guy is an old school finger pointer. You've seen it for years now, and we saw what happens on this Jets team when anybody raises a finger anywhere. The whole thing explodes.
Yeah, they're not going to wear Mike White shirts again if Aaron Rodgers is on the roster. Like, it's not going to happen.
Aaron Rodgers is a one-year rental for that team. Maybe they sign him to a 2-year, $180 million deal or some nonsense where they're going to way overpay or have to give up a ton of stuff to get him in some trade and sign or whatever it's going to be. I'm telling you, it's a waste. That they did it. They did it with Brett Favre. Same team, same old guy.
Yeah, they did.
They did it, and it stunk.
Aaron Rodgers is better than Brett Favre was at that point.
I'll accept that.
And the Jets are better than they were at that time.
That's true, too. I will tell you this.
They didn't have Garrett Wilson back then.
I think Aaron Rodgers is a better guy and teammate than perception. I think he actually likes playing the villain card a little bit and all this stuff that's transpired over the last few years that actually started like in COVID, But I think...
Can we give it the Russell Wilson test then? Who's standing up for Aaron Rodgers?
Randall Cobb.
I think
Randall Cobb.
I think teammates like playing with Aaron Rodgers.
I bet Devontae Adams would now.
Yeah, but you don't see Adams talking positively about him.
Just trying to figure out his next move. He's trying to figure out where he's going next.
You don't see Lazard or Jones talking about him?
Well, Lazard better. Lazard, his career has been made because of
But
Aaron
that's
Rodgers.
the point. He has, they don't like this guy.
I don't know about that. I don't agree with that. And Devontae Adams is one of those weird guys that actually wanted to go back and play for his hometown team above being good or anything else.
Well,
he got a lot of money too.
Yeah,
a lot of money.
All right, we take a break. We come back, and do we do it like an idiot of the day?
I mean,
I've actually suggested that before, and you told me specifically we can't do idiot of the day.
Well, I got one.
Okay.
When we come back on ESPN 690.
Let's change the rules.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Cool tonight with clear skies early on and clouds later as temperatures drop to the low to mid 40s. Becoming mostly sunny after we start out with clouds tomorrow, and your Tuesday high will be near 70. From the CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jack's First Alert Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds. Before you buy a diamond anywhere, shop Beard's Diamonds.
We're dealing at Best Bet St. Augustine, the only card room and sports bar in St. Augustine, Florida. With nonstop action, poker games of all limits, exciting tournaments and table games, and a sports bar showing all the action, Best Bet St. Augustine has you covered. Don't miss our delicious dining options, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and our always popular freshly made sushi. Best Bet St. Augustine is located at 800 Marketplace Drive off exit 311, where I-95 and State Road 207 meet. Learn more at bestbetjacks.com.
The Ospreys are swooping here as we head toward the end of 2022 and into the beginning of 2023 basketball style. There's a lot of momentum on the University of North Florida campus. New improvements at UNF Arena with basketball season going on. And don't forget to get your tickets and check out the new arena. Men's and women's basketball, UNFOspreys.com for news, schedules, and results. Be a part of the momentum at the University of North Florida. Attend a game. Join the Osprey Club, UNFOspreys.com.
The holidays are behind us, and that means nothing but open road ahead. So make every mile this new year the best it can be in a new Toyota from Arlington Toyota. Camry, Corolla, RAV4, Tundra, Tacoma. Arlington Toyota's got 400 new Toyotas available and ready for wherever you want to go in 2023. Plus, every new car purchase from Arlington Toyota comes with a lifetime warranty and Arlington's 30-day exchange program. Where will your new Toyota take you in 2023? Find out and shop arlingtontoyota.com today.
I am Dion Wellington, owner of Ice Capade Frozen Treats, and a Jack's Chamber member and graduate of JWBC's Entrepreneurial Certificate Program. Connecting with JWBC has provided me with the education, resources, and meaningful relationships to be more confident in growing my business in historic Springfield. This support is invaluable to women in business, and I am most thankful to be part of it. For more information, visit jacksjwbc.com.
Are you interested in giving back to your community but aren't sure how? Do you possess a skill set that could help aspiring small business owners? Have you ever considered sharing your knowledge base through one-on-one counseling? If so, you may be just the right person to become a SCORE mentor. Since 1964, SCORE has helped more than 11 million entrepreneurs and small business owners. In Jacksonville, SCORE provides services to over 8,000 individuals annually through confidential one-on-one mentoring, as well as hosting over 140 workshops. Find out more and apply today by clicking the volunteer tab at jacksonville.score.org.
The Dominique Foxworth Show.
I believe that most quarterbacks and probably more players are failed than the players themselves not being good. It's the coaches and the situation failing them. I was just thinking that we should start the Shanahan test or the Andy Reid test. When we start talking about players stink or players are bust, especially offensive players, just ask yourself, what would he look like in San Francisco or in Kansas City?
Check out the Dominique Foxworth Show anywhere you get your podcast.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Starting trouble. No one likes that. We'll get you set up for some stronger starts. You might just need a fresh charge, and we'll take care of that free of charge. But if it is time for a new battery, we've got replacement batteries that'll fit your needs, starting at just $79.99. You can learn more about our battery selection at AutoZone.com. That's what makes us America's #1 battery destination.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Claim based on data from the NPD Group 2021.
I didn't think it was possible to meet someone like Susan. We just clicked after realizing we each have a strong sense of self and share the same core values in life.
After taking our advanced personality test, Daniel and Susan matched on Silver Singles, the secure dating site for 50-plus singles who know what they want. Sign up today at silversingles.com/date. That's silversingles.com/date.
Paid actors representing true customer testimonials. Names have been changed.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
If you're experiencing domestic violence, it is not your fault. Hubbard House is here for you. You are not alone. Hubbard House provides free services and emergency shelter to survivors of domestic violence in Duval and Baker counties. Call 904-354-3114 anytime, 24/7 to confidentially speak to a caring advocate.
Listen to ESPN 690 anytime, anywhere, on any device. Whether you're at home or on the go, get the latest on the Jags, FSU, the Jumbo Shrimp, and Action Sports Jacks on Odyssey.com. That's AUDACY.com or on ESPN690.com.
Why is that funny? Because you almost got decapitated by your sign. It's moving.
No.
The Brent and Friends radio show back on ESPN 690. Aaron Schachter, Kasey Kurtz, and Brent Martineau under attack.
It's a headbutt from the Doug Peterson sign.
I was wondering, actually, I had it in at home, the home office where I do TV, and I had to block the sun at noon. And so I used it to block the sun coming in through the window.
Awesome.
And I was like, watch, on TV, this thing will just fall. The thing's 6 feet long or wide.
You know, we had 2.5 hours for that to happen on the air, and of course, it had to wait till a commercial break. You know what a great video that would have made? Would have been great.
Thank you, Doug card was awesome. And the one right in the middle says AFC South champs tonight.
That's awesome.
That's kind of a cool one on that. At least it will date it, right? In perfect fashion.
That's true.
To know when the card was done. Brent Martineau, Aaron Schachter, Kasey Kurtz, Brent and Friends on ESPN 690. There's something buzzing on social media.
Is it Mike R's comment in YouTube about me talking too much Jets? Because he's going to be really upset. We're going to do a whole 30-minute seg now on the Jets.
Oh. Does he want more Jets talk?
No.
He wants more Jags talk.
He's not happy.
Does he want more Jags talk?
He wants more Jags talk.
I mean, come on. We can talk about everything going on in the NFL. We've been talking Jags all day.
Not in
When
Mike
you
R's
look
opinion.
at this Jets offensive line, right?
Before we get to that, let's talk about Robert Saleh for a second. No. Go ahead, Brent. You had something.
And it's Garrett Wilson. Okay.
You know, last week we gave away a couple of tickets.
Yes.
Do you think this week here on Brent and Friends, maybe we should fly Colin Cowherd down?
You're just begging to spend money somewhere.
What do you think? Be an idea? Tell him to get a feel of this place?
It is.
Why
an
not?
idea.
He wouldn't be the first journalist who doesn't have the right idea about Jacksonville.
No. So anyway, here's the comment. Block your ears, Aaron. It's not the cleanest of audios, but we've got it anyway, and this is drawing the ire of the Jags
hopefully
fan.
it sounds like we recorded it underwater. Let's go.
Jags home field advantage is nothing. It doesn't mean anything. The Chargers home field advantage doesn't. These could be the two least effective home field advantages, so it's just going to be who makes the better plays. NFC.
So what do you think?
I think he's Mr. Hot Take right now.
Well, he of course is. That's
And I
probably
get
why he's
saying-
made it to the national level.
I get saying the Chargers don't have a home field advantage because no one actually likes that football team.
Well, he's right about that.
But are you blind, Colin? Did you not see the Titans game? No home field advantage? What's wrong with this guy?
I think we've done this so many times, like I'm numb to it.
Do you think he doesn't even believe what he's saying, or you think he believes it? Because
I think
people
he doesn't
believe
know.
this.
I just don't
Yeah.
think he pays attention. Like I don't think
He's
he
not paying
watched-
attention.
I don't think he watched the game like that. And I will say this: like we all watched it, we couldn't wait to see the crowd. I think a lot of people around the country are like, "Wow, man, it's rocking there." But my mom actually said this. No, somebody else said this. The crowd mics on ESPN were not that loud. Like some networks ramp them up.
Yeah.
But like you had to feel that and be here to probably feel that from your living room in Idaho.
That's a shame.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, to a degree. But there's sometimes you watch a broadcast and you can really feel it because of the way they put the crowd mics. I actually watched that game back and I was like, why don't they have the crowd up more?
Yeah.
That's what I said to myself. And maybe ESPN just doesn't do that.
Well, from here in the studio, we really couldn't watch it with the sound on as we were getting ready for the post-game show. So I wouldn't know what it sounded like on TV, but it looked like madness in there. And I've been in there in like a 2/3 full stadium.
Madness.
So I know what it sounds like when it's just normal. I got to imagine it was insanity. Like you can physically, tangibly feel the crowd as they cheer.
Yeah. I mean, listen, here you go. I'll fly him up. Colin, let's go. You got plenty of money. You got a hell of a lot more money than me, but we'll fly you down. Come on in. Come into Jacksonville this weekend and feel it. And you come over with us to the Duval house. Come over to the Slab. See how many people in Jacksonville are feeling the Jaguars because they finally have won and earned that, right, on the field. And then you can talk about fan bases. But, again, I'm so numb to this conversation, whether it's Jags moving, whether it's Jags fans, whether it's Jags tarps. Like, it doesn't bother it. I almost don't think it bothers the fans as much as it used to. Because
I don't
it's
buy
like,
that.
Well, it bothers them to a degree.
Sure.
But they're almost numb to it as well. They're like, yeah, whatever. I mean,
you remember Tony Kornheiser during the Super Bowl, the land of the Waffle Houses?
Yeah. This goes all the way back to Woody Page. This goes back to it's just a tired topic.
It's hack.
You know? And this place on Saturday night was every bit as electric as Gillette Stadium was in the AFC Championship game, and I was there 5 years ago. This place on Saturday night was every bit of electric as Arrowhead Stadium gets when they're rooting on their team.
Mm-hmm.
The difference is Arrowhead Stadium, like the way it's built, it sounds louder.
Much
but
louder.
This place was every bit of electric as any NFL stadium who's playing an important big game with their crazy fans cheering them on. That's a fan base.
Yeah.
Like, what do you, like, just because Colin doesn't talk about the Jags all the time, that's on him. He doesn't know because he doesn't pay attention to the Jags. He's not worried about Doug Peterson, Trevor Lawrence. I don't know how many times he's mentioned them in the last couple of months on his show.
And like,
probably not.
What a dumb premise to assume that 70,000 showed up to root quietly. Like, what are you talking about? No home field advantage.
Yeah, here's the deal about Saturday's game. The Jags, I think, did have a home field advantage.
Yes.
But the Jags offense didn't earn all of the home field advantage. They didn't make enough plays to get them all in there. But I tell you what, go ask Josh Dobbs if he heard the fans, if he thought there was a home field advantage.
Go ask Josh Allen if he heard it after the touchdown. Jeez, that thing was probably deafening.
It was interesting because away from Colin here, the Jags players in the locker room talked about this after the game. First of all, they said before the game, they said this place already is electric. So they heard it. They felt it. They were talking about it.
And isn't that really all they need?
That's it, yeah.
You just need the players to get pumped up.
But countless players said to me after the game how when the Titans would actually make a good play, they didn't hear anything because there were no Titans fans, right? They had the Giants fans in the stadium, the Cowboys fans, the Raiders fans earlier this year.
Yeah.
And of course, when the Jags made a play, it was electric, and you heard it. So, whatever. Don't take. I mean, just tell Colin to come to Jacksonville Saturday. Let's go, man.
Beautiful place to visit.
I'll buy your ticket. I just told him I'm not buying first class ticket, but I'll buy your ticket.
Look at Brent, Kasey, buying tickets for the rich and the beautiful, but not for Joe Fan, who we could give it away to. Huh?
I just want my fantasy football money and that $5 bet.
Don't forget the $5 bet. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean.
We'll be back.
And the
Brent
pizzas he owes
ESPN
us.
690.
Pizzas, too. Yeah.
In Florida, it's not if the storms are coming, it's when the storms are coming. And that's why you need the Chief. Jacksonville's chief meteorologist, Mike Burrish, with a proven track record of keeping local families safe. Rain, heat, hurricanes, flooding, tornadoes. We get it all. Just more reasons why you need the Chief. Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish, backed by the First Alert Weather Team. Only on CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jacks.
Rich Jones here. If you're an investor who's interested in doing well while doing good, getting solid returns on your investments while making a positive impact, consider investment funds with DLP Capital. Here's Don Winter, CEO of DLP Real Estate Capital, to tell you more.
With the current housing shortage in the U.S., investing in real estate, especially workforce housing, is one of the safest and most reliable places to invest. We invest in affordable housing for hardworking people and generate amazing returns for each of our investors.
To get your investor's guide and find out more, dial **invest from your cell phone or visit highyieldreturns.net.
The Ospreys are swooping here as we head toward the end of 2022 and into the beginning of 2023 basketball style. There's a lot of momentum on the University of North Florida campus. New improvements at UNF Arena with basketball season going on. And don't forget to get your tickets and check out the new arena. Men's and women's basketball, UNFOspreys.com for news, schedules, and results. Be a part of the momentum at the University of North Florida. Attend a game. Join the Osprey Club. UNFOspreys.com.
For seniors, staying healthy can be complicated, but one of the easiest routes to good health is prevention. No matter what our community's current COVID-19 infection rates are, getting your booster shot now is a smart way to protect yourself from severe illness later. ElderSource encourages people 65 and up to get a safe, free COVID-19 booster. For more information, visit myeldersource.org or call the ElderSource helpline at 888-242-4464.
Start the new year off with worry-free water. Discover how good your water can be with a new Connecticut softener and drinking water system. Connecticut's twin tank, non-electric softeners are the most efficient softeners available, and their drinking water systems remove up to 99% of contaminants. If you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. The experts at CGC Water Treatment will test your water for free and provide solutions that are right for you and your family, like they've done for my family for over 5 years. Imagine having clean, clear, purified water at your home. No more plastic bottles, no more waste, just great tasting, purified water that you can trust. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. That's 904-552-1242. Financing options available with approved credit. CGC Water Treatment are proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I'm a proud customer of CGC Water Treatment. Your authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1428211.
As a Walgreens pharmacist, I talk with people all the time about little tips and tricks for filling their Medicare prescriptions, like taking advantage of Walgreens 90-day refills to save them a trip, or using Refill by Scan, which is super easy and right on your phone. And for anybody worried about prescription costs, I say, hey, we got you, with low-cost copays on many medications.
Let's talk about making things easier. Walgreens is here. Fill your way and save at walgreens.com/Medicare. See pharmacists for restrictions and exclusions.
What's for dinner? Burgers?
After last week, no thanks.
Avoiding foods due to fear of diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools? It may not be just stomach issues. It could be EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency. EPI can cause uncomfortable symptoms because it's a condition where the pancreas doesn't release enough digestive enzymes to break down food. But EPI can be managed. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor about your symptoms. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Hey, it's Brent Martineau from Action Sports Jacks. Did you know you can watch our radio show? Yeah, video of a radio show. Just search ESPN 690 Jacks on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Or follow me on Twitter at BrentASJacks. Watch the show live weekdays from 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. or listen on ESPN 690.
Brent and Friends is sponsored by Best Bet. Now open in St. Augustine.
We're already done? Why do I feel like
Yeah.
when we sat in the office at 2 o'clock, which we never really do, but we did, and said, okay, what do we got for this week? What are we talking about today on the show? Why do I feel like we probably crossed off 2 of the things we said we were going to talk about?
We handled everything today. We talked coaches. We talked the Natty coming up tonight on ESPN 690. That game, what is our pregame coverage at 7:30?
6:30.
6:30?
Yeah, the boys only have 20 minutes.
A half hour of overtime?
That's it.
It's not much overtime.
That's it.
Both teams ain't getting the ball,
listen,
dog.
Kurtz and Middleton are going to score on the first drive.
They better. They're really not going to have time for the second drive.
I'm be honest, there's no guarantee.
All right.
Wouldn't that have been unbelievable, actually, Saturday night if the game went to overtime and the Jags tied and won the division with a tie?
Yes.
Would they
Like, that
have
was
won
actually
with
possible.
a tie?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, because they were 7-9, 8-1.
Which would have been awesome because last year
Oh,
the
yeah.
Chargers were
I'm sorry.
trying to play for the tie. You remember that?
Yeah, that was that whole situation, right, with the Raiders and the Chargers?
Yep.
That's fascinating. Hey, all right, so we have overtime with Kurtz and Middleton coming up. Here's the deal. I want to share with what we have because we're expanding the coverage. But tonight, overtime with Kurtz and Middleton, that's normal. Just take you until 6:30 because of National Championship game. That's on ESPN 690. 7 o'clock, Jags Report Live. Andre Sisco will be there. It's our final Jags Report Live of 2022 season here as we enter 2023. So come on out to Sneakers. You can watch it on Fox 30. Then tomorrow morning, we're back at it with another edition of Morning Madness.
You bet we are.
We're not calling it Tuesday Morning Madness. We're just calling it Morning Madness.
There's no Tuesday?
But we also have it on Wednesday and Thursday and Friday. That's why we're not going to call it Tuesday.
Can we stop and ask Mike R. if this is okay to talk about? Or is he going to get mad about us talking about something that's not Jaguars? It's Jaguars coverage. I guess we could talk about it.
Is Mike R. always in the chat?
I don't know, but it's bothering me and I shouldn't let it. Mike.
Is he still mad? Is he still mad? Like, what does he want to talk about?
He's not.
Trevor?
He's not back in the chat.
I mean, we have talked about Jags for like 4 hours and 45 minutes
I
today.
just can't let it go. That's all.
What do you? Come on, man. Don't be so soft.
Soft?
Take some abuse.
Abuse? Okay, I'll take abuse.
Yeah, take some abuse. Holy cow, what a show.
I get paid to take abuse. Kasey gets paid to take abuse.
So anyway, we got all that coming up. Expanded coverage all over the place. Action Sports Jack, CBS 47, Fox 30, and right here on ESPN 690. And the plan is to do another Dual and Duval postgame show.
Yeah.
Are you in?
I'm in. I told my wife last night, I was like, sorry, hon, ain't going to see me Saturday.
Well, you can for most of the day. Just make sure you're here by 11:30.
11:30 is a little bit late.
Coos and Middleton, and we'll take you until deep into the morning. And we'll have that also on 104.5 WOKV. So we
That's
got
right.
post-game shows. We got pre-game shows.
My
We
worst
got
fear
extra shows.
may actually get realized.
Which is?
So from the spot that we did the post-game show, great spot, world-class spot.
Okay.
If
We didn't get kicked out.
Were you guys in like the tunnel or something?
I'm actually not going to say where we are now that I think about it. But
okay.
If I was talking loud enough and, you know, there might have been a loss scenario where like they didn't pull it out and I had to be a bit critical, I was in range of getting just absolutely, you know, tackled by one of the players. So now we get another opportunity for that.
Look, talk about getting paid for abuse. Those guys are used to hearing criticism.
Yeah, I mean,
that's fair.
That's the thing. Like, it'd be fair to it, and I don't think they would mind. Like, I never even really thought about it.
I did the whole time. But then when they won, I was like, thank goodness this is going to be fine.
Yeah.
But now
That's
I
interesting you
will
thought about
sweat it
that.
for another week.
We can move it outside, but it's going to be chilly.
Is it supposed to be cold?
It's going to be freezing.
Listen,
Oh,
if
wow.
I'm right and the home team gets blown out, we might have to do it outside.
Look at you. You can't get past your Jaguars PTSD, man.
I won't until they're raising the Lombardi one day.
Really? The Super Bowl is what it's going to take for you to get over that feeling?
100%. AFC Championship would be cool.
It would be very
Like
cool.
I've seen them go to it. So yes, until they do something I've never seen happen in real life other than when I do it on Madden consistently all the time.
Okay.
Yes, there's going to be some.
All right.
Do it on Madden consistently
Listen,
all the time.
I'd be winning with the Jags have won more Madden championships on my PlayStation than you can believe.
Hey, you know, another cool thing, and maybe we'll hear from these guys tomorrow morning. Think about how electric that crowd was. The Jags, we talked to Rashean Mathis, who's a local guy. Yeah. Jags have 2 guys on the roster from here. Darius Williams, Creekside, and Shaq Quarterman from Oakleaf. And they're helping build this moment. I mean, that's kind of cool, right? Imagine growing up a kid and then going through some hard times, especially for Quarterman. He's been here for a bit. And now to see that place explode, pretty cool.
I think it's cool. They always usually have someone local on their roster at all times, isn't it?
Well, it's certainly not intentional, but it also shows you the kind of
talent
that we produce around here in Northeast Florida. And the other guy on the other side of the ball, that's their main weapon, is also from here.
That's right.
Derrick Henry. He feels it a little bit differently, of course. All right, we got more Jags talk all week. We have Overtime with Kurtz and Middleton up next. We have Jags Report live at 7 o'clock on Fox 30, and the National Championship game. You guys like TCU? You like TCU?
Georgia.
You like Georgia? I like Georgia going away.
TCU going away. Big. Give me the spread. Give me the straight win. I'll take y'all's money. I'll finally get my money from Brent. Go Frogs. Horn up. Do they say that? I don't know.
We're going to rip it.
It's going to
catch up. We'll get there.
Today on Hey Culligan, smooth skin and soft hair comes from where? Here's Mike.
Hey Culligan, I've tried every conditioner, lotion, and body wash known to man, and my skin still feels like sandpaper.
It could be your water, Mike.
Oh, that's harsh.
More like hard water. Are you interested in smart, high-efficiency water softeners from Culligan Water?
Huh?
Want baby smooth skin and soft, luxurious hair?
Yeah, can you hurry? I have a date tonight.
We're already on the way, Mike. Let us help you out with the free in-home water test from a local Culligan water expert at Culligan.com.
Make a New Year's resolution that's easy to keep. Help protect your identity and finances with LifeLock Identity Theft Protection. LifeLock detects identity threats you may miss on your own. And if you become a victim, LifeLock will work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions at all businesses. But LifeLock by Norton makes it easy to help protect yourself. Join now and save up to 25% off your first year. Go to LifeLock.com. Use promo code NEWS.
We're dealing at Best Bet St. Augustine, the only card room and sports bar in St. Augustine, Florida. With nonstop action, poker games of all limits, exciting tournaments and table games, and a sports bar showing all the action, Best Bet St. Augustine has you covered. Don't miss our delicious dining options, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and our always popular freshly made sushi. Best Bet St. Augustine is located at 800 Marketplace Drive off exit 311, where I-95 and State Road 207 meet. Learn more at bestbetjacks.com.
The holidays are behind us, and that means nothing but open road ahead. So make every mile this new year the best it can be in a new Toyota from Arlington Toyota. Camry, Corolla, RAV4, Tundra, Tacoma. Arlington Toyota's got 400 new Toyotas available and ready for wherever you want to go in 2023. Plus, every new car purchase from Arlington Toyota comes with a lifetime warranty and Arlington's 30-day exchange program. Where will your new Toyota take you in 2023? Find out and shop arlingtontoyota.com today.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Starting trouble. No one likes that. We'll get you set up for some stronger starts. You might just need a fresh charge, and we'll take care of that free of charge. But if it is time for a new battery, we've got replacement batteries that'll fit your needs, starting at just $79.99. You can learn more about our battery selection at AutoZone.com. That's what makes us America's #1 battery destination.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Claim based on data from the NPD Group 2021.
I'm Marcus Roberts, and I've been blind since I was 5 years old. I'm a jazz pianist and composer, and I've been fortunate to perform all over the world for more than 30 years. I am also a proud graduate of the Florida School for the Deaf and Blind. While there, I had great teachers who specialized in working with blind and visually impaired students. FSDB provided me with many of the essential skills I needed to succeed. The school is a state public school available at no cost to eligible K-12 Florida students who are deaf, blind, or both. FSDB helps students to do more, be more, and achieve more. It prepares them for a lifetime of success. For more information, call 800-342-3732 or visit www.fsdbk12.org.
If you're a new parent, your baby means the world to you. But sadly, an average of 17 Northeast Florida families lose their babies to sleep-related deaths each year. Please make sure your baby always sleeps alone and on their back in a separate and safe sleep environment, like a crib, pack and play, or bassinet. Also, keep their sleep space free of covers, pillows, toys, and bumper pads. Learn more at wolfsandchildrens.com/safe sleep. That's wolfsandchildrens.com/safe sleep.
WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Bill safety Damar Hamlin's been released from the University of Cincinnati Medical Center and transferred to a hospital in Buffalo as he resumes his recovery. Another sign of the remarkable progress he's made 1 week after going into cardiac arrest during a game. The Cardinals fired coach Cliff Kingsbury 10 months after signing him to an extension through the 2027 season. Arizona had just one playoff appearance in his 4 seasons. In addition, GM Steve Keim decided to step away from his position to focus on his health. The focal point for Arizona's next coach and GM, quarterback Kyler Murray, explains ESPN's Louis Riddick.
What do we really need to do as far as building a relationship with him, understanding his strengths and weaknesses, both as a player and as a person? How do we maximize those strengths? How do we get the most out of him individually? How do we get the most out of him in a collective sense as far as him being a leader? How do we help grow into a leader?
Louis Riddick on Fitz and Harry. The college football season all comes down to this. Georgia TCU in the national championship game tonight. ESPN radio coverage bottom of the hour, 7:30 Eastern, ESPN TV and other ESPN platforms.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. At Progressive, they're making things even easier to help you bundle your home and car insurance together so you can save on both. Learn more at Progressive.com or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE.
It seems like every day we hear about the challenges small businesses face to increase sales. Competition can be fierce, and growing revenue is essential for long-term success. What can a business owner do to set themselves apart and attract more customers? SCORE has volunteers with industry-tested sales and marketing experience that can help you address your critical questions in a free, confidential mentoring session. In addition, we also offer a vast array of online resources and workshops. Discover more about how SCORE can assist your business by visiting our website, jacksonville.score.org.
Hello, it's me, the designer jeans in your closet, the back of your closet. What am I doing here? Would you keep caviar in the back of your fridge with the ketchup and old milk? Yeah, I don't think so. So what happened to us? I mean, have you seen my label? I used to summer in the Hamptons, and now I'm stuck behind a pair of sweats. Sure, I never really fit you quite right, and one of my pockets is so small you can't even squeeze your hand into it. But it's all about the look. And I look good. I need to get back out on the scene so I can be seen. You know, going to fancy parties, getting expensive iced coffees, Sunday fun days, okay? So take me to Goodwill, where I can really make a difference.
Your donations to Goodwill create new jobs, training programs, and education assistance for people in your community. To find your nearest donation center, go to goodwill.org. Donate stuff. Create jobs. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
Well, how are we doing, Jacksonville? How are you? Have you recovered? For the most part, I bet the answer is no. Not just yet, and you know what? That's okay. That's okay. I have not recovered either. Neither has Brian Middleton. Nobody here has. The Jags are AFC South champions, and y'all can't tell me nothing. Ain't nothing. Y'all can't tell me nothing. What a moment. Overtime with Kurtz and Middleton. ESPN 690 is the station. Brian Middleton is the broadcast on. He's on the ones and twos. Kasey Kurtz with you as well for not a lot of time. About 18 minutes left in the show already because we have national championship coverage coming up. TCU and Georgia will play for the national championship. We will get there in just a little bit. But before that time, we will talk all about the Jags for the next 15, 17, whatever minutes or so. Brian Middleton has yet to share his thoughts on the Jags. He shared them a little bit in the post-game show that we did. You can go back and see it on YouTube. But Brian Middleton, the Jacksonville Jaguars are AFC South champions, and the only thing that's stuck in my head right now is when a wise man on this program once said, the Super Bowl champions are practicing at Episcopal High School. You remember that? You remember when you said that?
Man, I believe two wise men said it, actually.
Well, I didn't say it at first. I had to buy in.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair.
But you said it.
I'm with that. Kasey, I got to be real with you, man. I'm looking at this team, and I know that you guys have broken this down in depth. I watched the Monday Morning Madness from 8 to 10 a.m., and, good show, great show as usual. Great calls. And,
thank you.
And great breakdown by you and Brent as well. And I got to be real with you. I don't want to belabor the stuff that's already been said, but I'm excited about where the Jags are at. What I will belabor is this point. Three of them, actually. The first one is this. I don't get shook when this team goes down. I don't care if they go down 3-0, 7-0, 10-0, 17-0. Now, if they start getting into the 20s and 25s, it might be a blowout. But when they go down early, I actually don't have the kind of nervousness that I thought that I would have, especially being a Jags fan and experience in the last couple of seasons. And so I think that is something that plays well for this team moving forward, especially in the playoffs, because you're going to be dealing with teams that are probably perennial show-ups in the playoffs. The Kansas Cities, like the Philadelphia Eagles. I know they're in the NFC. But teams that are used to being in the playoffs and potentially teams that will be used to fast starts. So I'm all for the fact that we have seen this time and time again, whether it be in the second half of the season during this great streak of wins, or even in the first half of the season where we had a couple of close games that we had to come back on. They can go down early, and this team doesn't get shook, and I don't get shook either. That's the first point. The second one was this. Kasey Kurtz, the spirit of Miles Jack. I know he's not a player on this team anymore, but I feel like he came back and did us a solid. I believe that he inhabited Rashean Jenkins on that play because all I could think about was when Miles Jack was in the AFC Championship game and he tackled Deion Lewis for the Patriots, and he wasn't down, and he got up, and the officials like, whoa, Tom Brady, we gotta get him to the Super Bowl.
That's
okay,
fair.
You calm down there, Miles Jack. I know you got a straight path to the end zone, but not today. Okay, not today. I feel like this was our get back for the AFC Championship game. I mean, that final play, when it wasn't the final play, but that play where it was the Jenkins forced fumble and then Josh Allen picked it up. I mean, Kasey, you were there at the stadium and you talked a little bit about it, and I may ask you about it again, but I can't imagine how loud it was. I know there was some cheering in the press box. I already know, even though they tell us not to.
It was me.
It was. I would have paid money to see that.
It was me.
I would have paid money to see that. But boy, it felt like, okay, this is the football god saying, all right, you guys have gone through the wilderness long enough. Here you go. Here you go, right here. So I was happy about that. It made me think about that play. And then finally, Kasey, something that I've been down on the team about, something that a lot of people who've been down on this team about throughout the season, it really blew my mind. 5-game winning streak.
Yes.
That we've been on.
Mm-hmm.
The pass rush has been immaculate. I went through and counted how many different people have touched the quarterback and earned at least a half a sack. 12 guys.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about all over the place. Defensive linemen, linebackers, Mike, Wills, safeties, cornerbacks. Everybody has been getting to the quarterback on this win streak, Kasey Kurtz. And you know who is leading the team in sacks during this win streak?
What you got?
Josh Allen.
Yeah, that's how it should be.
Ain't that something?
It's a good thing.
Ain't that something? So all of these things, Kasey, are pointing me to even more excitement. It's building up in me the anticipation for Saturday's game, Kasey. I can't wait for it. But boy, looking at stuff like that, especially the pass rush point, I was like, this team's gonna be a problem for somebody. It ain't just gonna be, okay, we can mark this off as a win. It ain't gonna be that. Yeah. I don't care if it's the wild card round, the super wild card round, the divisional round, the AFC Championship, or the Super Bowl. You ain't gonna be able to just say, yeah, we're gonna get these boys out of here real quick like.
I agree with a lot of that. Let's start with the defense. And it doesn't really matter where you start because they showed up in the second half. The first half, there was a moment that entered all of your minds, Jags fans. Josh Dobbs is cooking. There was a moment that you heard me saying, Josh Dobbs is cooking. And in the second half, Josh Dobbs was not cooking. In fact, nobody was cooking. The food was burnt because the Jags defense came out of the locker room ready to play with something to prove. They gave up a touchdown to Josh Dobbs. They were feeling some type of way. Great throw, whatever. But in that second half, the Jags defense showed up. The pass rush was there. And I might be over-exaggerating it, but I don't think I am. You look around the defense in that game, and you can almost, if not point to everybody, be like, I remember when he made a play. I remember when he did something. Up and down the line. I mean, from beginning to end, start to close. Devon Hamilton. Corey Peters. Who? Making plays. Roy Robertson-Harris, Josh Allen, Trayvon Walker. Not a great stat day, but boy, he was all over Josh Dobbs.
Yeah, he was. Yeah,
Josh Dobbs, saw him in nightmares last night and probably will tonight as well. Linebackers. You know, Lukin was everywhere. Chad Muma made some plays. There's one he didn't that almost was bad, but it was okay. It worked out. Things were fine, but he didn't make that tackle on third down, maybe clean that up. Tyson Campbell and Darius Williams, I'm going to say it. They're elite. I'm going to say it. Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, don't matter. It's fine. All good. Rashawn Jenkins, you know what happened? You saw it. Andrew Wingard. Andre Sisco. The boys are making... Arden Key? How could I forget about Arden Key?
Keep naming them. I haven't heard a wrong answer yet.
I mean, it's just coming from everywhere. On the Jack, Trey Herndon, they were incredible on defense in the second half. They make the play to win the game. And, if they don't win. Brent said earlier he has confidence that Trevor goes down the field and scores there. I don't agree. Trevor was not good in the second half. I do not think I cannot sit here confidently and tell you that I think they would have went down and scored and tied it, kicked the field goal, whatever. I'm not confident in that. But once again, with the game on the line, I won't say the season on the line once again because the season, I don't know if it was on the line against Dallas, to be real with you. But anyway, you understand.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
With the game on the line again, this time with the season on the line, Rashawn Jenkins, on a safety blitz, gets his name in the pride. That, and here's what's so cool about that moment, right? And we'll talk about, I don't know if we'll talk about this again. The Jenkins play we will, but this thing I'm about to say, and this is probably only relatable if you are under a certain age. Because I don't know how to say this elegantly because it's not going to come out well. But for a certain type of fans, young fans that have never felt that success, it doesn't matter if they win again. There are a certain group of fans, young Jags fans, who have never seen success that will remember for the rest of their lives when people say, what made you a Jags fan? Oh, Rashawn Jenkins play. Like, that's a thing. Doesn't matter if they lose by 65 to the Chargers. That will be a thing. There's other fans, and the majority of the fan base who is, our age and older, that's like, well, you still need to win a little bit more. But that Rashawn Jenkins play will be an all-time play that the Jags have made. It will be, if there's ever a Jags highlight reel, it's in there. Pretty close to the top. And it comes from a guy, again, cannot be understated. Punched somebody on the field last year, was thrown out of a game, was not good. Not good. And has come back this year and has been incredible. Two of the biggest plays in recent memory.
Yeah.
In a month. I know this one wasn't a walk-off, but he pretty much walked off two different teams. Two teams that, one that's in the playoffs and one that would have been if you didn't walk them off there. It's not like he did it against the Texans, who had nothing to play for. Two teams that had everything to play for.
I'm with you.
Can't give enough credit to Rashean Jenkins. Also, want to give some love to Mike Caldwell. Because first half wasn't great, but in the second half, and I think he had this cooking all night, and I said it on the postgame show, but I believe this. They dialed up some blitzes from the secondary at perfect times. Rashean Jenkins, a good example of it. But it wasn't just that play. You had a play where Tyson Campbell's rushing off the back end or blitzing off the back end, pushes Dobbs out of the pocket, incomplete pass on a third down. That's a big play. Get him to punt the football. You had Trey Herndon on a similar play collapse the pocket on a corner blitz as well from the slot. So he dialed those plays up at the right times for me.
Yeah.
And he's all of a sudden turned this defense into, what have they done? 3 points, and whatever they gave up on Saturday. That's pretty impressive now. And that's also with a shutout earlier in the season and a Chargers team that you held to 3 points in that game. Whew. Mike Caldwell cooking. It didn't look pretty at times in the middle of the season, but he was cooking. He had it cooking more than Doug Peterson on Saturday.
Whoa. Doug's like, players got to execute.
No, that's fair, but it's
Doug's
true.
like, that's not fair, man. Where's my thank you card, by the way?
Oh, it's right back here.
Yeah. That's a
big thank you card for Doug Peterson.
But yeah, Kasey, everything you saying, man, Rashean might got to renegotiate, brother. Just say it. Strike while the iron's hot.
Yeah,
that was such an incredible play. That was
such
such
a moment. Yes.
I don't know. I think this play is which play between this Titans one and then the pick six are you giving the top spot for Rashean Jenkins?
Oh, the Titans play.
The Titans play?
100%. They do not win. We're sitting here having a different conversation.
Well, that's fair.
We're sitting here saying what happened. How did they lose to Josh Dobbs? I believe that. And instead, we're sitting here saying, holy something I can't say on radio.
Yeah.
The Jags just won the AFC South.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
Have you said it out loud? Because even when I just said it, it felt a little wonky. I don't think I said it out loud yet.
Yeah. With
it's
conviction.
Unbelievable. They won the AFC South. They will host the Los Angeles Chargers this week for a chance to go to Arrowhead.
I mean, things get goofy. Hold on. If things get goofy in the wild card round. We assume Arrowhead, but you never know.
No, they have to go to Arrowhead. Chiefs have a bye.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. You're saying that the Ravens somehow win?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah, I'm not co-signing.
I thought there might have been another rule.
You're right.
With the AFC getting.
No, you're right.
Okay.
I hadn't even considered that. You're right. My bad. Jumped the gun on you.
And also, you know what? Let's not even consider it. Let's just enjoy this right here and focus on the Chargers, a team that they beat, that they smacked down. Granted, a more injured team at that time, but a team that they smacked down early on in the season. Kasey Kurz. I'm excited, man. I'm excited. This is what you get into the business for. Have a good team that you can talk about, that you can report about, that you can discuss, that you can talk with the fans about if they ever want to call in. And man, this is what you get into it for. It's been a struggle.
It has.
It's been a struggle. We deserve this. Am I entitled by saying that? We deserve this right here.
You're not entitled if by we you mean the city of Jacksonville, because these fans deserve it, right? We just get to be in a happy position where we can talk about it. But these fans deserve it, and they proved that on Saturday night. That place was packed, 70,000 people. We've had callers call in today that don't have a voice because they were hollering. I'm serious, man. We had people calling in.
Yeah.
And nobody left. That's the part that I appreciate. Nobody left. They weren't dead. They were pretty close. And nobody left. Nobody left because they believed in this team. Think about this in years past. Same old Jags, you're leaving. All right. We got to go. Some of these fast food places going to be closing, right?
Like Checkers.
No, they don't close. Not this time. Not these Jags. Not these Jags. It's different. And they proved that it was different by making that play.
Can I ask you this real quick?
Yes.
How different does this feel as opposed to that 2017-18?
It's weird.
Season?
I've been trying to figure that out as well. And here's the only way that I think it feels different. And correct me if I'm wrong in the chat. In 2017, you knew the defense the defense carried you there. So you believed in the defense the whole time. And you know what? I said on the pregame show I wasn't sure about the defense, if they were actually good or they just played some bad offenses. Mm-hmm. To be honest, we still don't know. But for this week, I'm going to say, you know what? Forget it. Their defense is good. They're not the 17 defense. But if you just follow me there, if you can sit there and say, you know what, the defense is good, here's what makes it feel different. And I love Blake Bortles. But you have Trevor freaking Lawrence. You have Doug Peterson. You have Christian Kirk. In 2017, you didn't have those guys. You had Leonard Fournette, and you knew Leonard Fournette was getting the football 30 times. Okay. Can Blake make the throws when he has to? And he did. But that's why this feels different. And that's why if you sat here and looked me in the face and said, you know what, Kasey, I disagree with you. When they got the ball back, I think they were going to score because they have Trevor Lawrence and Doug Peterson in crunch time. And I would be like, you know what? I can't argue with that. I don't agree with you, but I hear it. And that's why it feels different to me, because are you really out of it at any point if you have Trevor Lawrence and Doug Peterson? They've proven against the Raiders, they proved against the Ravens that they were never out of it.
Yep.
And so that's why I think it feels different. And believe it or not, Brian, this is the end of the show.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you see the out time I wrote down, but it is 22.
Oh, okay. That's what that means. I got you.
That's what that means. Bad day to have a show cut short. But we have the national championship game coming up.
Well, there you go.
So you can listen to that if you're on the radio on ESPN 690. If you're on YouTube and you did not catch the full show, you can go back and listen. You can also listen to Monday Morning Madness if you would like. Those are both on our YouTube channel. Or you could go to TV and watch Jags Report Live. Brent will be at Sneakers in Jags Beach, and he will have Andre Sisco on the show. Or you could just go out, take a selfie with Brent, take a selfie with Andre Sisco, whatever you got to do. Because it's a Jags town, and we're just living in it right now. We're back tomorrow. Tuesday Morning Madness for the first time ever. Join us in the morning, 8 to 10. Me and Brian are here for a full show tomorrow. But up next is the national championship game. Enjoy it. The TCU Horned Frogs and the Georgia Bulldogs. We'll talk to you tomorrow. I want to eat a spicy chicken in my Tesla. Is it too much to ask?
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Cool tonight with clear skies early on.